Why don't more infant formula companies use organic, grass-fed whole milk instead of skim? Why don't more infant formula companies use the latest breast milk science? Why don't more infant formula companies run their own clinical trials? Why don't more infant formula companies use more of the proteins found in breast milk? Why don't more infant formula companies have their own factories instead of outsourcing their manufacturing? We wondered the same thing. So we made ByHeart, a better formula for formula. Learn more at byheart.com.
Got legs for sure.
Well, the water helped a little bit. Like it did kind of open it up a little bit. But
So you think it's a little bit more palatable at a lower proof?
I would think so. Yeah.
And so now this is your first time. Have you ever done any limestone water or anything in your bourbons or ryes before, anything like that?
No, never. Just water.
Isn't it crazy? Like, you can disagree if you want to, but isn't it crazy the difference that just that little bit of water makes?
Oh, definitely. I just put a capful in, and it made a significant difference, but probably not enough for me to
So,
continue.
all right. So as he's sitting over here trying to figure his out, Sam, I want to get your opinion real quick. On what
Oh
we got
boy.
here.
I mean, I feel like last week we just ripped the what was it? It was the Woodinville cherry cask.
Yeah,
Sherry
yeah,
cask?
it was because I wasn't supposed to be here, and that one was there for that. That's why I grabbed this one.
So I was hoping, we'd have like a nice positive review, and this one's rough, man. That first sip really gets on you. That first sip really lets you know. All right, you're gonna have to
Be honest. Have you? We've had worse on the show.
Oh yeah, we've had worse, but that's not saying a lot. I mean, we've had some truly awful things. We've had things that we took a sip of, and we said, you know what, we're not going to discuss this on the show. We're gonna
Those bottles are actually still full on the top rack of my shop.
leave that be.
Where they should be.
That being said, yeah, this one is rough. I mean, it comes out. It does have a cherry flavor. I get that, and I feel like there's like a cherry caramel kind of thing happening right here. Not loving the cherry flavor. Tastes very much like cheap hard candy cherry.
I wasn't ready for that. I'll be honest with you. I just had some come up my nose.
And that's the thing, is once you get it down, it really wants to come back, doesn't it? It's like trying to put out a gas, like a oil fire. Like you swat it and swat it. Like you got to smother it, and it's like stay down, but it just keeps fighting to come back up. It has this odd sensation where, like, I feel like if you've ever been in the dentist and they put like the cotton swabs in your mouth and they just like steal all the saliva. Like it feels like this thing is just pulling the saliva into the back of my throat. It's a weird sensation.
It does.
I'm not enjoying the flavor, and I'm not enjoying the process. I mean, these are some seasoned whiskey drinkers at the table, and I saw Burley take a sip and then twitch. I saw him twitch, and that is not something you usually see on this show. It kind of describes kind of what we're going through right now for you people out there.
What you got for us, Burley?
I think the first thing I said was that I smelled it, and I'm like, oh. But then I took a sip, and I said, well, it tastes better than it smells, but that's not saying much because it's rough. It's rough. It's very medicinal.
Sorry.
It's got a I like burn. I'm a big rye guy, and I love the burn. This is not a pleasant burn at all.
How did they do this?
I don't know. It lingers, and it's not pleasant. It's some things you want to hang around. This girl, you don't want to hang around. You want her gone. And it's just not. And I'm looking at the glass, like trying to figure out like what's in here. But it's
Did you read the back of the bottle?
I did not. I didn't. You said it's 106 proof. I didn't even.
Yeah, it's 106.
I was going to say I know it's a higher proof, but then rye kind of deceives you a little bit anyway, because if you're a rye drinker, you expect that burn.
And it's different too with a good rye.
To your point a while ago, I couldn't discern at first if it's the alcohol or if it's just the unpleasantness of the rye in this mixture, because it's unfortunately just not pleasant. There's not much positive to say about it. I guess if you're looking at it,
it's pretty
from a distance. It's pretty in the glass. It's got a great color. It's got legs on the glass. It is viscous. And some of our favorite ones were that way.
I mean, I love Mastersons. We've had some phenomenal ones.
Is just like that.
And I love where it hangs around, it coats your mouth, and you get that flavor the whole time.
This coats your mouth, but it's like Robitussin. It tastes like cherry. Somebody mentioned cherry. It tastes like cherry cough medicine.
It's a lot. It is. So this is a 4-year-old rye that they finish in sherry cask for another 18 months. So we have a 5.5-year-old rye right here in front of us. I haven't had the standard rye or anything before. This is, I'm going to say it's my first. My arm got twisted the other day, and I tried something that we're going to drink here later on that is better, but we're not going to drink it tonight. That surprised me because I've never, like I said, I'm not familiar with Sagamore. Not familiar with them. I love, just like you, Burley, I love a good rye. I feel like this is just a miss. Right out the gate, the first sip, I got kind of that cherry syrup flavor. I was trying to describe it earlier. It's like the dark cherries you use for old fashions. It's like the juice from that, where it's too much cherry and it's an affront on you. Like it just attacks you out the gate.
Almost like grenadine.
Yeah, a lot like it's like a stouter grenadine. Yeah, and it comes at you, it latches on, and then you expect it to kind of mellow out, and it doesn't. Then you get that alcohol burn. At the end of it, I still get more cherry. Maybe if they did a 6-month finish, I don't know if the burn is necessarily alcohol at the 106 proof, because that normally you get out the gate, but it continues to burn the whole way through. I mean, I'm sitting here and I'm trying to breathe through my mouth and work it and see if the flavor changes as I do it, but it's not. It comes at you. This is an aggressive rye.
And it won't go down. It's not just that, like, we've had whiskeys that burn all the way through, but I feel like it goes through and then it like fights back up.
You know what it kind of reminds me of? You ever had an old school, old made cherry Dr. Pepper or cherry Coke where they put the syrup in there and they do them? Has anyone else ever had that? This tastes like one of those that they just went too far. Like the guy sneezed and poured too much cherry syrup in there and mixed it, and it didn't come out right. That's kind of the flavor I get out of it. So Jordan's over here. He's keeping our notes. He started writing notes earlier, and I'm gonna show him how to use the little color wheel right there and all that cool stuff. But this, you all right? You good? But this is the part now where we're gonna sit down and we're gonna rate it on the Morris Whiskey rating scale, my own scale that I messed up on just now, my own name. Yeah. So red, I wouldn't drink if it's free. Yellow, I'll drink it only if it's free. Green, I'd spend my hard-earned money on that. Blue, I need it. I want it in my life. So we're going to go around the circle here. Or I guess not a circle. It's more of a raindrop. It'd be
It's like a star.
With one really big leg. Would it be a comet?
Yeah, I guess.
As we sit at a 4-person table and Sam's off 6 feet away from us.
The beauty of radio.
Yeah. I have to go and paint a picture for people like a storyteller. So we're going to go through that. We're also going to go with the what would you pay? I have the belt chain here, the luxury limo belt chain right here next to me. Thanks to Mike Trammell for that. Someone's going to wear it and get lead poisoning here in a little while. But we're going to sit down and figure out, like I said, it is a 4-year-old rye finished for 18 months. If you've listened to the show, you kind of know what I'm hinting toward right there. If you remember kind of some of the ways to figure out the dollar amounts, everything else. Who wants to start this? Who wants to give it a rating and a cost?
I got it. It's a red.
You sure? You want to think about it harder?
Nope, it's a red. And the number, I'm going to go $40.
I'm sorry, I was swallowing.
$40.
I think
that's not what I would pay. That's what someone would try to rob me of to take this bottle. But that's $40.
You know, and that's one of those things, like when we sit down and talk about this, there have been some where we were like, it's a blue. And I've talked to people and they're like, man, I would never drink that. And there are some where I'm like, no, that's a solid red. Like, I don't want that anywhere near me. And then someone comes in the shop and they go, man, I love that. I can't believe you didn't like it. And I was like, well, they let you walk around. You drove here.
And again, in the show, we always try to say, look, if you like it, buy it, drink it, keep it, serve it, whatever. But I'm not going to, our job here is not to sell any of these products.
We're here to be honest upfront.
And this is just something, I told you already I wasn't going to finish this. I'm not going to finish it. I'm trying, I'm trying to see if it sits long enough.
You know, the longer you get, the closer you get to the bottom of the glass, the better it gets.
But I don't know about that. But you know, I think we try to be as honest as we can.
Mm-hmm.
And fortunately, we haven't had many terrible ones, but we have had some bad ones. But this, I'm just not. I don't think we need the novelty. There's too many good whiskeys, bourbons, ryes on the market today to have to shift over to this novelty stuff. And this
what's funny is
novelty.
when you read the back, it says that they produced it and it was in-house only. And then they made it again to share it with the world. In-house is fine.
No, the people in the distillery didn't want it, so they decided to try to sell it.
You know, I mean, it's we have had a bunch of different things out there, and I'm not trying to stand up for this affront right here or not, but we've had a lot of different things. We tried a lot of different things, and someone makes it. There's a flavor for everybody. And if you think we're wrong, go to the Implicit Bias Facebook page and tell Cavan that he's wrong. He takes criticism like so well and loves to know that someone thinks that he's wrong. So just sit down and do that. Let him know that, please, for me.
But there's a big market for this, right? Because I guess because
people buy it.
Every whiskey that we try, there's a cherry cask or a rum cask or a port cask or
when you think about all the big names in bourbon, right? All the big people out there. Do you think of finished bourbons?
No, but they all have one.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think it's because they have a bad run, and then they said, "What are we going to do with all this stuff? It doesn't meet the standards to go in our regular bottle. So let's just do something with it. I know, dump it in those cherry casks."
I don't know the answer. I guess I'm assuming there's a market out there. I don't know. It is wild to me every time I taste it.
And you know, all of these finished bourbons. I'm sorry, Jordan. Did you write down that red and $40 for Burley by chance?
Yeah, right back.
Yeah. So all of these get like rummy to me. Like when I say rummy, like they taste more like rum. I guess just with the finish, it's so sweet and so much. So Grant, you ready?
Yeah, I'm kind of struggling with this one because red. I don't know if I've ever been on the show and we've given something a red, or at least I've never been present for one. Can you recall?
Not that I remember. I think everything you've been on, I don't even think you've had a yellow with you. Most of them are pretty solid.
I've been here for yellows, but I've never been here with a red. I can't imagine if this is the only thing available that I would look at it and snicker and go, yeah, no, thank you. Oh, geez, that's what I'm saying. It's so. What does red and yellow combined make? What is that color?
That color doesn't exist. It's red or yellow. Like if we were out at a random pub or anywhere else, if we're down in New Orleans, Lafayette, whatever, having a good time, and I was like, Grant, I'm gonna go get us a bourbon. Would you look at me and say, I want a Sagamore Spirit sherry finish?
Absolutely not.
There
Does
you
that
go.
Automatically make it a red?
Yeah, there you color.
It's a red. Thank you. Burley nailed it, man. There's such a medicinal taste to this thing. You know, it's not a pleasurable experience.
Look, Robitussin sold really well when we were younger. It still sells well.
Right.
I'm sure somebody out there is a Robitussin
cherry flavored Robitussin. That's right. Yeah. Do we have any here?
Carter was coughing when I left the house earlier. I think I might bring him a little snort of this later. I'd probably clear it right up.
Early bedtime. Definitely. Yeah. I'll give it a red. I'll say I'm still gonna say it's about $59.
Okay.
I'll go red and I'll go 35.
Wow, we must be short on time because you just dove right into that.
I don't have a lot to say. I'm
Red
not
and-
enjoying it. I'm
red
waiting for
and
I want
35.
this segment to end so I can
Yeah.
have something else.
You said red and 35, right?
Yeah.
All right, Jordan, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go red with this one. The smell is really good. The color is really good. But that after effect is just, that I probably wouldn't pay more than $30 for this.
So 30 is yours. Red and 30. Okay. All right,
See, he's playing the game like I play the
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
What would you pay?
Right.
Yeah.
So, Jordan, it's actually what is the actual cost,
Yeah,
but they
what's
call
it?
it what
Okay.
would you pay? But that's all right.
Very
But we-
controversial.
There can't be a winner if no one
gonna
gets it right. So
We'll see how it turns out for him.
before I give my opinion, right, and before we give our averages here, I think we're all pretty solid on one color. But I'm going to kind of dive into something else and drag this on a little longer. That way Sam can suffer. August 3rd, we got something very special coming up. Sam, you know what it is?
This is the birthday?
Yes.
All right.
Man, look, did you drink coffee today?
Two cups.
You sure?
Oh, yeah.
It took you a while to spit that out.
2 cups, baby.
So August 3rd is the Implicit birthday. I don't know about y'all, but I'm pretty damn excited about it. This year we're doing it at the Grouse Room. The room there, the space there, there's levels of tickets now. We have a standard ticket. There's a bottle and bond. There's a few others. Like I'm just excited to be able to sit down and when we did it last year at the shop, how many did we have? Was it 100 people? 100 people. Tickets sold pretty quickly. This time, 300, I think, is what we have it at.
Wow.
Imagine the chaos that's going to ensue, Sam.
That's almost twice as much.
You public school system, right? So, I mean, I'm very excited about it. The Grouse Room's doing a great job with this, helping us out with this. Their place, if you haven't been, is phenomenal. I want to thank you to our sponsors that are helping us with this, which is Ritter Consulting, the Sirop trading company, or Siro, sorry. He always fusses me about that. I do that, and I want to say it's on purpose, but it's not. Alex Saison and Sirop. Man, look, I'm going to get it right one day.
Public school?
Public school.
Saison.
Yeah, great old-fashioned mix. I also use his Siro de Clear and make some of the best margaritas I've ever had with it. Dupree, Carey, and Gottschall, they're also one of the sponsors. You can go onto Eventbrite. If you go to the Implicit Bias Facebook page, you can click right there, buy tickets, go through the whole process. I know that tickets have already been purchased by quite a few people. I'm already getting text messages and social media responses saying, look, I can't wait to see y'all there. I think they're more excited about seeing Cavan and everybody else. I'm just there to have a drink and a good time with it. But you can come out, hang out with us, really enjoy it. One of the things I don't think we'll be enjoying is Sagamore Spirits Sherry finished.
No. But the good thing is that everyone's going to realize that we have faces for radio. So it's good. It's good.
It'll work well.
I do have a face for TV, though.
That would be Jordan.
Yeah. So as I take another heavy sip of this, y'all, I'm red. I'm right there with you. It's drawing the moisture out of my mouth right now as I'm talking. I feel like I'm, what's his name, Lunk from the Goonies. Like I feel like that's the face I make when I drink this. Sloth. Yeah. Yeah, you guys. Yeah. I feel like that's the face I make when I drink this right now. 106 proof. I don't think it's the alcohol. I think it's just too sweet. I think it's way too sweet. Unfortunately, the dollar amount I was going to choose is gone. When I say I know what this cost, I was texted a picture of it and I paid a whole lot of attention to it, never opened it. And who chose $40? You chose 40. Jordan, you chose 30.
I had 35.
35. Grant, what'd you say? 100 bucks?
I went high at 65.
65?
Yes.
I'm going to go $50. I'll go $50. And as I do that, would someone else like to talk for a little while I search in my phone to figure out how much this was?
Well, we can actually take the remainder of this bottle and give it away at the birthday party. So if you're curious just to find out what
is at the raffle.
Yeah. And the tickets are free, by the way.
So the rule of thumb is $10 for every year. $10 for every year. So if you go by the rule of thumb, at a 5.5 year, how old would this be? $55. This is a $70.59 bottle of sherry finished. So you know what that means, Grant? That means you get to wear the luxury limo belt chain. There you go. It's all yours.
I like to change my guess.
There you go. You get to wear that for the show. And I just want to congratulate you on your winnings.
Congratulations, Grant.
Of a second glass. A second glass. And
no, thank you.
While we're sitting here pouring your second glass, everyone else will be right back for a second helping.
Shop at New News, a proud sponsor of Implicit Bias on KPEL. New News is dedicated to providing excellent food, excellent drinks, and excellent service. Known for their specialty meats and superb liquor and beer selection, it's all here. Family run and family oriented, we know our customers by name and strive to deliver a great shopping experience to every customer every time. New News, now open in Youngsville, Milton, Maurice, and Scott.
If you want to know about cigars and pipes and pipe tobacco and more, you need Renee Girard, Acadiana certified master tobacconist from Piper's Haven, 3916 West Congress Road, between Adrian's and Gilboa Road. All right, you've got it all, Renee.
Yeah, we need to hurry up and make this commercial because I need to go back and sit on the porch.
Yeah,
it's
right?
perfect porch sitting weather. We got a pot of gumbo cooking in the back, and we got to go eat and sit on the porch.
And talk about all the world's problems.
Solve all the world's problems.
I like it. All right, tell me all the stuff you got at Piper's Haven.
Well, we got 553 square foot humidor loaded with cigars. I have pipe tobaccos, pipes, lighters, cutters, ashtrays, pocket knives, Lamborghini lamps, and a bag of chips.
I love it. Is it a tasty bag of chips?
Yes.
That's what I heard.
It's
all
Ruffles. They have ridges.
Uh-huh. Delicious chips, all the fine tobacco, and great cigars at Piper's Haven, 3916 West Congress, between Adrian Supermarket and Gilboa Road.
Ever think about firearm safety? Are you new to shooting? Don't know how to get started? Here's Caleb with the Rustic Renegade.
I love new shooters because they don't have any bad habits yet. So you get somebody who hasn't been around it, hasn't been around firearms, or hasn't done a lot of shooting. We can sit down in a very safe environment where there's no live ammunition, no risk of any residuals, and train them the right way before they actually get on a range and go and do some live fire.
Why don't you come in and have a cup of coffee with us? The Rustic Renegade and therusticrenegade.com.
Was that a 1? I heard a 1.
You didn't hear a 1.
Oh. Welcome back to Implicit Bias. If you're listening to us on radio, this is 96.5 KPEL. If you're listening to it on another station, then that is phenomenal, and I'm really impressed.
It'd be podcast unless...
Well, that's not a station.
Yeah, I don't think we're on any other stations.
No, we're not. Not yet, Sam. But you know what? Would it be syndicated? Would that be the word?
Syndicated.
When we're syndicated, we'll be on 100 different channels at one time, and our voices will be echoing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it sounds great, doesn't it?
Coast to coast, baby.
Let's see if we can get syndicated before Cavan comes back.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great.
Just lay that on me.
We have a week.
Yeah. So for everyone else, you listen to us on Google Podcast,
Google Play.
Yeah, Google Play, Apple Podcast, Spotify.
Yep.
What else are we on?
Anywhere you find podcasts.
Yeah,
you'll find
anywhere.
us.
I like asking
Search for
Sam because
Implicit Bias. Look for the microphone.
I like asking Sam because then I get to
Microphone
follow up with we're not on YouTube yet.
You can listen. You can listen to this show. It'll start on Sunday,
Saturday at 10:00.
No, on podcast.
Podcast will be Friday.
Usually Friday.
Yeah, we're on.
Okay, maybe Friday.
Sam
but you
does
can also
something
go
and uploads them
back.
early.
You can also go back and you can find your favorite show or listen to
Sure.
all of them. And catch up to where we are now.
Yeah,
It's so weird. People say I went on a trip and I just listened to 3 episodes in a row. And it's like, why did you do that?
Have you ever? That's 6 hours. Have you ever sat down and listened to this show and listened to yourselves? Anyone here by chance?
No.
I can't do it.
I have.
I enjoy it when I've tried, but when I start talking, I'm like, no, I don't listen to that guy.
Look, only when I can't remember what I said do I go back and actually.
That's every time you're on the show,
Hey,
Grant.
you haven't been here lately, okay? They had to change the chair's name because no longer the chair of intoxication. I limit myself to 3 pours.
Okay, well, just
That's a good point. And so everyone knows what we poured earlier. If you're just now jumping in, one, shame on you for missing the first. How many minutes was that?
24. We had a massive first segment. Yeah.
Thank you for cutting me off, bad bartender. So for the first 24 minutes, we were sitting down sipping Sagamore Spirit Sherry Finish Rye. I'm not going to tell you the color that we rated it, but I am going to tell you we're moving on to something else. So that should tell you something at least, right?
I think we're all drinking something different now.
We are. Sam went in the back and looked at all of his bottles and said, which ones are the most empty? And let's finish those. Thank God they were all good ones.
They're pretty good, though.
No,
They
these
are.
These are pretty good. Can we talk about this at all?
No, we're not gonna go
Whistle
down
Pig
these.
piggyback. It's treating me pretty well right now.
We're not supposed to right now.
Yeah,
Sam.
whatever.
Sagamore is the one for this month,
Okay.
and I believe it'll get better every glass.
I think it will.
as we go and produce.
I took a sniff of one of the
other
ones.
one? Yeah,
it was
yeah.
pretty solid. I feel like there's a lot of upside with the Sagamore.
So there's a rabbit hole that I want to go down right now. We're on the tail end. Memorial Day just finished up, and Memorial Day often gets confused with Veterans Day, and Armed Services Day and everything else. So Memorial Day is the time in which we honor those that have laid down their lives, those that didn't make it home. I've got a list of names, some phenomenal soldiers, Marine, Airmen, everything else that I had the pleasure of serving with who didn't make it home. And their families have had to carry that cross and that gold star. But that's not what we're going to be talking about. What I want to talk about is on the cusp of that, as we finish up, there was a brawl, I think would be the correct term. And to be fair, Grant, I didn't send you this, and I sent it to everyone yesterday because I forgot that I was hosting the show, truthfully. But there was a brawl in San Clemente, California, which is just outside of Camp Pendleton. Jordan is another vet, and we're both Army. But when you talk to Marines, when you're like, hey, are you what's the big place where the Marines go to basic at? Help me out here.
Parris Island.
Parris Island. Thank you for knowing a lot about Marines. I guess I should pay more attention to them. So they have San Diego Marines and they have Parris Island Marines, right? Well, San Clemente is just outside Camp Pendleton, which is not a training base. It's an actual installation. And there was a fight, a brawl. Like this was a lot that went on. I watched the clip. I didn't send the clip with it, but I actually went down a little bit of a rabbit hole and watched the clip. Supposedly, these 3 Marines were on the beach enjoying the day. I'm assuming out drinking. And a group of high school kids were out there popping fireworks on the beach. Now, Jordan will understand this. I don't know if y'all ever had to get this at all. But when you're an active duty service member, when Friday comes along, COB, 1700, when they play retreat, when the flag's coming down, you salute it, go through the thing, and then after that, or normally just before that, First Sergeant will get out there and he's like, look, this is the safety brief. And they go through the safety brief, all these things that you shouldn't do, places you shouldn't go. Hey, this place is blacklisted, don't go here. This is this, don't go there. What's the normal, the top 3? Don't beat your wife, don't beat your kids, don't drink and drive.
And don't add fire to gunpowder and alcohol.
So they go down rabbit holes, right? And by the time you're like, man, what idiot is out there doing this? And then the next week, there's another thing added to it. I am very certain this was covered in the safety brief. Now, when you watch the video, when I first saw the headline, it was 3 arrested in San Clemente beating of Marines. And I'm like, 3? It was 3 Marines got beat up by 3 high school students. I'm like, obviously don't make Marines like they used to. But then I went down that rabbit hole, and it was about 50. We're talking about approximately 50 high school students were beating current service members. Now, what the Marines said, the video that I saw, is they told them, hey, stop popping fireworks. They'll cut it out. You're not supposed to do that right here. You're going to get in trouble. And then they turned on them. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I don't know very many Marines that are like, hey, cut that out. That hasn't been their attitude. But that being said, I don't think it warrants 50 people beating the hell out of you. I see you have something to say, Jordan.
Yeah, well, what I was going to say is like at the end of the column, I saw that they did not want to go to the hospital.
Mm-mm.
And I'm pretty sure they knew that they were high school students, and that's why they were not using their training to take on these kids. You don't want to.
Yeah, when you know they're minors, and you know, look, a group that big, when one person starts fighting, people jump in and start going through it. And do I think that all of them knew what they were doing? No. A bunch of them probably got their adrenaline pumping, jumping in there, and they didn't know what was going on. They probably heard another story, another rumor, and it blew into what it was. That being said, man, if I'm on the ground getting beat, like I'm biting ankles or something at that point in time. And I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did. And these children should be very grateful that they didn't get torn up in the process.
Restraint.
Yeah. Because they could have just, like 3 of them, if they each singled out one, it would be a completely different headline. You know, and when we look at this, outside of military installations, when you're on post, they always tell you the community doesn't like us. When I was at Fort Carson has 3 or 4 other military installations in the area. They have the Air Force College, the Air Force Academy. They've got a few other ones going on. And they tell you, be careful when you go out and about. And I want you to be careful because we're going to be right back after a quick commercial break.
William S. Nicol Jewelry has been serving the Acadiana area for over 40 years now. Loose diamonds, engagement rings, wedding sets, the most extensive in-store selection Acadiana has to offer. Waterford crystal, Swarovski crystal, and a complete Pandora jewelry shop right on the showroom floor. In-house jewelry repairs and a friendly, knowledgeable staff to assist you. When you want bigger, better diamonds for less, when you want quality merchandise at affordable prices, shop local. Shop William S. Nicol Jewelry, 3802 Johnson Street, Lafayette.
Sterling Automotive stands by our mission to provide each customer a transparent and honest vehicle purchase experience. Every vehicle is inspected in our certified service departments. We offer a 48-hour return policy and free delivery up to 250 miles. Stop by any of our 3 Sterling Premium Select locations today or visit us online at sterlingpremiumusedcars.com to upgrade your vehicle and your experience.
Nobody likes to drive around in a grimy ride. Clean that car the Cajun way. Zydeco Ride and Shine Car Wash at 320 Willow and Cajun Car Wash at 510 Lafayette Street in Youngsville are there for you. Our facilities provide you with the best automatic car wash in the Acadiana area. Regulars get a bonus. Buy 3 washes at a location, get the 4th one free. Zydeco Ride and Shine and Cajun Car Wash, keeping Acadiana's rides clean since 2014.
How sweet it is! Gambino's Bakery of Lafayette can satisfy all of your bakery needs. Cakes, cookies, pastries, melt-in-your-mouth petitfours, wedding cakes, and of course, the original New Orleans Dauberge cake. Family owned and operated, let Gambino's Bakery take care of all your dessert needs for your family gathering, tailgate, holiday, or any special occasion. Visit with the baking professionals in Lafayette. Find what fits your taste. Enjoy the sweet life with Gambino's Bakery of Lafayette, 3802 Johnston Street. Call them at 337-406-9066 or online at gambinos.com. Use your implicit bias. Mention implicit bias when you call Luxury Limo and save 20% off of your booking. Don't forget, mention implicit bias and save 20% off your booking with Luxury Limo of Lafayette.
Instantly, I regret saying that. That was a horrible thing to say. It's just, I'm Teddy Powers, and I'm very upset with how I'm acting right now. I just have a very hard time expressing my emotions, and I can't stop from yelling.
Welcome back to Implicit Bias. This is Caleb Morris of the Rustic Renegade. I'm surrounded by a group of good guys. I'm going to give an intro again this one time before we start delving into it any further. I got Burley Pellerin with Zydeco Ride and Shine to my left. I got Grant. How do you pronounce your last name? Galatis. I always mispronounce it, and I apologize. We'll miss Nicol. I got my buddy Jordan Reshort across from me, and Sam Stokes, who I don't think it's enough credit, with what's the name of your company, Sam? Is it Better Boots Productions?
That's correct, yeah.
That's how we pronounce it?
I'm sporting the shirt tonight for all you radio listeners.
A very slim, trim Burley Pellerin.
Slim shirt over there.
And you know, Sam doesn't sell these shirts. You have to earn them. You have to go out and earn them either lying down or standing up. I don't know how he does it.
I used to sell them. I used to sell a lot of them, but I just got out of the game, man. I mean, it was such a pain in the butt having to like.
Well, I'm grateful to have it. Thank you. And
absolutely.
I think it looks great on you.
I think it looks good.
Say so myself.
I think it looks good.
What an incredible billboard that man is.
Right. There you go.
So for the first segment, we drank Sagamore, their sherry finished rye, which I didn't give it the last segment. I'll give it this one. Came out as a red. Everybody gave it a red. Grant, who's no longer wearing the belt chain, is throwing it on the ground because he won. He was closest to the hole, but he was still pretty far off of the dollar amount. That was a surprise, I think, for all of us.
That's okay. I'm going to keep it close just in case I get attacked by a group of 50 teenagers.
Yeah.
$75. That blows my mind for that.
But it was a big surprise.
It's a big surprise.
So the last segment, we were talking about the Marines that were beaten by about 50 high school students. And I got to see in the break, Grant showed me the video that I hadn't seen. And it was as these Marines were walking away from this verbal conflict that happened. They're walking away, going up a set of stairs. And this little kid, there's a lot of other words I want to use right now, runs up, takes a swing, misses him, connects a little bit, more forearm than anything else. And look, this guy turns around and he's like, you know what? Game on.
Well, they weren't little kids. They were
these
teenagers.
are teenagers.
They were
These are
teenagers. They were a bunch of punks.
The one that took a swing is about the size of my 13-year-old.
Napoleonic complex.
Yeah, and if he'd have connected with that lick, that haymaker that Marine threw, I think he learned that in McMap, which is the Marines hand to hand. If he connected with that big haymaker, maybe it hit the guy harder. I don't know. He should have gone to the Army's little combatives course and learned how to fight with Q-tips. But anyway, so they go down, and I mean, this is 50 people. The video, it's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, the problem, and which I'm assuming is what we're getting to, is that the problem is that the mob mentality these days, whether it be from ransacking stores, liquor stores, clothing stores, shoe stores, whatever it is, that's become a lot more commonplace these days, probably even more than what we're able to see, just because I think there's so much of it that's happening now. But they know, and by they, whoever these groups of people
these groups
are,
of individuals,
they know that it's very hard then that everyone's going to get in trouble. And I think they're all stupid enough to think that no one's going to get in trouble. Someone's going to get in trouble. Obviously, in this particular case, several people were arrested, and there's probably more to come. But likely not everyone is going to get implicated. But that's the mentality, is that, hey, we can do this, and they're really not thinking. Common sense goes out the window. Moralities go out the window. And these kids, these punks, these thugs, whatever age they are, whether it's this group who appeared to be mostly teenagers.
Yeah, these are, I believe, are all 16 to 18-year-olds.
Right. But you also see that with 20-somethings and 30-somethings. It's just that mentality. But they know that they are gonna, by and large, someone's gonna get away with it, and they feel like they're okay doing it. And like I said, the morality's going out the window, the common sense is going out the window, the common decency has gone away.
Especially in California, depending on where they are in California.
Yeah, this
they're going to
implemented.
literally take you and give you a little slap on your hand and send you home with mommy and daddy.
And we all read about this and learned about this when we were very young. I'm sure everyone here read The Lord of the Flies because it was at some point required reading, right? And this is what happens. You get that group, any group of people, and they taught us in the military to be afraid of this and to watch for this. You get a group of people with a leader who's just and who's firm, and they believe in an honor code, and the soldiers and subordinates follow that. You get a leader who is corrupt, a leader who they know will manipulate and use that situation to their advantage, and the whole group does the same thing. And that's what we see here, is one person. That's all it takes, one person, and then the rest of the group feeds off that energy, and then we see them, after these Marines are on the ground, getting kicked, beaten, and stomped, people running up from the back of the group, running up and kicking them just to say, hey, I did it too. I got him. I did it one time. But they're not going to stand there and fight you toe to toe. There's no honor in this. There's no principle in this. This is a group of children whose parents want to be their friends and not their parents. And that's what I see. And that's what's disturbing.
We were talking before the show too. What you were trying to say was on Memorial Day. Nonetheless,
yeah.
I mean, that's to remember the fallen, but these guys are still in the same line of work. They still will put it on the line for these little kids to be able to walk the streets and do what they're doing.
These are young Marines.
And there's your respect. That's the respect they have for them.
These guys have their entire careers ahead of them. And look, I'm going to be honest with you. UCMJ, the United States Uniform Code of Military Justice, does not look kindly upon anything like this. Even though they weren't in the wrong, is what I'll say for this. And there's more to it, I'm sure, right? But we'll say they weren't in the wrong. Even though they weren't in the wrong, there's going to be some sort of retaliation against them here. Something's going to happen. Someone's going to get in trouble. I mean, do you agree, Jordan? You ever had anything like that like this happen when you were at Bragg or anywhere else?
Not personally, but like going back to what we were talking about during the break, when the Marine choked out the guy that was making threats and everything. So if it were me, and I would have probably did the same thing. I wouldn't have fought like kids. I'd have just been down on the ground letting them do it.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Right, because the way they're treating the Marine that did the they call it a chokehold. It wasn't really a chokehold. It was a
Yeah, I mean, he didn't even put him in a rear naked choke. He choked him, put him down, released him, rolled him on his side, which is a position to say, hey, look, I'm trying to take care of you, trying to make sure you get air. This was not a person who was there being polite to others.
No, he wasn't like going for his throat or anything. He was just trying to subdue him. That's it. There's a difference between a chokehold and a...
And imagine, and to your point, imagine the outrage we'd be hearing if the news media or the headline, instead of saying 3 arrested in beating a Marine, if it had said Marine inadvertently kills 17-year-old student while being attacked. That's what it would say.
Because the training for Marines, like, I'm pretty sure one of them could have took out all those kids easy.
Yeah, and look, no matter what branch you're in, maybe not the Coast Guard, but no matter what branch you're in, you learn some combatives, you learn some hand-to-hand. And Coasties, look, I'm going to pick on you for a little bit, but and you can kind of hold your own. Against 40 and 50, that's hard. That is difficult. And I'd be hard-pressed to see Dustin Poirier or anyone else want to hold their own against 50 students, 50 kids. No matter how mad you are at one of them,
you're gonna pull back.
Yeah, you're gonna pull punches. And look, we're gonna pull a quick punch. We're gonna sit back on our laurels for a moment and take a quick break. Come back and listen to us here today.
Let your pictures say more than 1,000 words with us at Nuvo Photo. I'm Danny Izzo. Me and my wife Mona will help you preserve all your memories and pictures. At Nuvo Photo, we'll create beautiful portraits of your family, high school, college graduates, and even your pets. We can also offer group pictures for schools, churches, sports, communions, and confirmations. Let our family create memories for yours. Nuvo Photo. Find us online at nuvophoto.com. That's NOUVEAUPHOTEAU.com. Or call us at 337-233-1094. Nuvo Photo, for photos that last a lifetime.
Acadiana's premier venue for live music is the Grouse Room downtown. The Grouse Room hosts concerts and is also a private venue for all occasions. From your largest, most extravagant events to intimate gatherings, the Grouse Room unites Acadiana's creative and business communities. Explore the concert calendar as well as the luxurious spaces at www.thegrouseroom.com or call 337-806-9098. Visit the Grouse Room.
If you want to know about cigars and pipes and pipe tobacco and more, you need Renee Girard, Acadiana certified master tobacconist from Piper's Haven, 3916 West Congress Road, between Adrian's and Gilboa Road. All right, you've got it all, Renee.
Yeah, we need to hurry up and make this commercial because I need to go back and sit on the porch.
Yeah,
it's
right?
perfect porch sitting weather. We got a pot of gumbo cooking in the back, and we got to go eat and sit on the porch.
And talk about all the world's problems.
Solve all the world's problems.
I like it. All right, tell me all the stuff you got at Piper's Haven.
Well, we got 553 square foot humidor loaded with cigars. I have pipe tobaccos, pipes, lighters, cutters, ashtrays, pocket knives, Lamborghini lamps, and a bag of chips.
I love it. Is it a tasty bag of chips?
Yes.
That's what I heard.
It's
all
Ruffles. They have ridges.
Delicious chips, all the fine tobacco, and great cigars at Piper's Haven, 3916 West Congress, between Adrian's Supermarket and Gilboa Road.
I don't want to talk to you no more, you empty-headed animal food trough whopper. I fart in your general direction. Your mother was a hamster, and your father smelt of elderberries.
Welcome back to Implicit Bias. My name is Caleb Morris. I'm sure you can tell by the difference in tone that I'm not Cavan Bordelot. Cavan's a great dude, enjoying a great vacation. He's currently, should I say where he is? What's up, Greg?
Who we brought to you by this hour?
No, it's still the first hour.
Still the first hour?
Yeah, still the first hour.
Who's the first hour brought to us by?
Thank you. No, no, it is Piper's Haven. Okay. It is Piper's Haven. It is Renee. And look, I would love to know the first rye we had, the first whiskey we drank is the Sagamore Sherry Cast. I would have loved to have had a chance to ask Renee at Piper's Haven, Renee, what cigar would you pair with this? Because I think he would have said like Swisher or something along those lines. It was sweet.
I don't know. That would be pretty interesting though, because a cigar
It
would
would probably change everything.
May have paired better with that, and I'm sure Renee would have known exactly what.
The depth of knowledge that he has about cigars is
absolutely
crazy.
And so that may have been a good pairing situation for him.
I know that he would have something that would pair well with that. The problem is we wouldn't be able to taste it. We wouldn't.
We wouldn't.
Because Sam has rules.
Be sucking down that cigar as hard as I could, man.
Just no fire, no fuego. So we've been touching on for 2 segments right now. We've been touching on Memorial Day and what happened there with the Marines that were assaulted by about 50 high schoolers, right? And it's tragic. There's a lot that goes down with it. But we're gonna kind of shift gears real quick. And I know we've talked about it in the past. I know that we've talked about the push for all electric. Does anyone remember what year that's supposed to be?
It's soon, right? Within the next 2 or 3 years, something like that.
All electric is supposed to be about, I think, 2030, if not before then.
Yeah, you're right, because it's not all electric that's coming out. It's
something different.
Yeah,
the all electric. They're trying to push for that. And what's crazy is when you sit down, you hear the interviews, you hear the people that know what they're talking about. There is more hydrocarbons used to produce an all electric vehicle than about 10 carbon vehicles, we'll call them. What you got, Jordan? I can see gears turning.
Yeah, so I'm hearing you say that, and like, there's no way you could just force people to buy electric cars. There's just no way. It's not going to happen. You need hydrocarbons. You need natural gas. You need petroleum. You need all that just to even run electricity. So if you start putting all of these electric stations all over the place, you're gonna mess up the grid.
The most economical hybrids out there are locomotives, and that's diesel
and coal.
Diesel coal hybrids, and they produce massive amounts of torque. Do a great job, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about everyone riding all electric cars. And what's crazy is everyone down here has lived in South Louisiana for a long time, right? I mean, it's safe to say. You know, I've lived in Colorado and a few other places. Jordan, you've been around too.
Yeah.
Everywhere that I've been, every country and state that I've lived in, if I had an all-electric vehicle, I would have been screwed. One hurricane, what happens down here? One hurricane, power goes out. How hard does it get fuel? Can you just go and get gas anytime?
Oh.
For about the first day, maybe, if you don't have 100 gallons at your house. So when that happens, we're already out of it. When I was down in Florida, the people who had Teslas, Tesla unlocked an additional 20% of battery. I didn't know that existed. They just remotely unlocked an additional 20% of battery, and all of a sudden, people got more juice out of their same battery.
Yeah, but how
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
How are they going to pay for the electrical bill after that? Because if you're charging your car at your house, there's a gas station on every corner.
Mm-hmm.
There's not an electrical.
These substations and everything else, the grids can't support that. They can't. We've seen that. Look at the rolling brownouts in California and everywhere else. Well, now our wonderful president, has come out with another directive. And this one, I think, look, there is a problem. There's a problem with drinking and driving. Louisiana DUI is 0.08, right? 0.08 is the legal limit. You will blow a DUI. You'll be under the influence if you blow it higher than that. But 0.08 is the standard limit, okay? Well, for some reason, our president and the executive branch has taken this upon their mantle, and they said, look, yeah, we're going to do electric vehicles. We're going to do all this. But by the year 2026, every vehicle, they want to mandate that we have a breathalyzer and a way to determine how much you've had to drink before your vehicle moves. For all these people who are like, no, it'll never happen. If you have an electric vehicle that's plugged up to this massive grid that takes wireless updates all the time, that they can unlock a 20% battery that drives itself, tell me again that you think it's BS. Tell me again you don't think the ever-reaching hand of Big Brother doesn't want to touch every part of your life. They already want to go to digital currency and dictate what we can spend our money on. And now they want me to blow into a tube before I can start my car? I'm sure you can imagine how this makes, even for somebody who doesn't drink and drive and do all that nonsense, I'm sure that you can imagine how this makes me feel as I drink whiskey. But
our Ubers will be here shortly, so we're good.
I was actually thinking about this the other day because my vehicle has lane departure warnings.
Yeah.
So it knows whenever I move in and out of lanes. And it's at that point, if it's so smart that it can do that, it could probably understand my normal driving behavior and understand whenever I'm deviating from that. So it probably could detect if I'm under the influence or something like that. And I started to think, are we going to reach a point where vehicle manufacturers are going to be liable, whether insurance companies get involved, because they can know whenever people are inebriated behind the wheel.
The firearm industry right now, right? If you have a firearm and use it illegally, the manufacturer and or retailer that sold that to you can be held liable.
Yeah.
Not in the car industry, but the thing is it's not all black and white.
It's not, but
your lane departure.
Yeah.
If you try to change lanes and swerve because a kitten runs out in front of you, a child runs out in front of you, someone stops because something happened on them, it gives you resistance. It slows you down and delays your reaction time.
So I have a caveat to that. The self-correcting driving, if somebody fixes a road, which I know somebody that has been through this, and they don't have the lane,
the markers or whatever.
Yeah, the markers completely straight, it will automatically jerk you to one way. And then I had a coworker actually had his daughter driving over the Baton Rouge Bridge and had the automatic brakes. And if it stops,
it's okay. He's just waving his finger. You can continue.
If it stops,
at the peak of the bridge where the incline is at its greatest, it started applying.
Well, it stopped right before one of the metal gratings,
the deviations,
right?
Yeah,
and it slammed on the brakes, and she almost got in a.
And that's computers deal with absolutes,
right? So they don't deal in human.
And as we go through and continue with all what they're doing, the world is not absolutes. It is very gray. And we don't want you to be gray while you can't hear our voices, but you just have to tune out for a little while and then come right back.
Shop at New News, a proud sponsor of Implicit Bias on KPEL. New News is dedicated to providing excellent food, excellent drinks, and excellent service. Known for their specialty meats and superb liquor and beer selection, it's all here. Family run and family oriented, we know our customers by name and strive to deliver a great shopping experience to every customer every time. New News, now open in Youngsville, Milton, Maurice, and Scott.
Hey Acadiana, I'm Kathleen Terrio with Next Home Cutting Edge Realty. I know realtors seem to be on every corner, but the good ones aren't. I promise to give you top-notch customer service that includes honesty, availability, and professionalism. If you're looking for a realtor you can trust and is available during your most important purchase, call me, Kathleen, where the service goes beyond the closing day. For all your commercial needs, investment properties, or your next home, call Kathleen with Next Home Cutting Edge Realty, 337-412-1536. That's 337-412-1536. Or find me on the web searching Kathleen Terrio Realtor.
This is Moon Griffon for Coin and Treasure, 2472 West Congress. You know, my buddy Louis Pizzolot at Coin and Treasure is a truly great American businessman. If you're a coin collector, silver or gold bullion collector, Louis at Coin and Treasure will have something for you. Louis has over 40 years of experience in the coin business. Visit them at 2472 West Congress. Call them at 232-2573 or visit online at coinandtreasure.com. This is Moon Griffon. You can trust Coin and Treasure.
Can't find an Uber or Lyft? Luxury Limo of Lafayette offers scheduled pickups and drop-offs and even airport transportation in style. Get dropped off and picked up in their luxurious 12-passenger Mercedes-Benz Sprinter with limo-style interior or their Cadillac Escalade SUV. Reserve a sleek black town car for a night out with friends or dinner with your sweetheart. That's Luxury Limo of Lafayette, 565-4385 or luxurylimooflafayette.net. Spoil yourself to luxury with Luxury Limo of Lafayette.
You're listening to News Talk 96.5, KPEL, Breaux Bridge, Lafayette, a Town Square media station.
I'm Hannah Como, and I'm here with my husband, Brandon. We are so passionate about helping marriages grow and succeed. And as a licensed marriage and family therapist, I know the importance of investing in your relationship.
We believe that a good marriage is the foundation of a healthy family. We also understand that marriage is hard and the challenges that we face in today's society are different from those of the past. Our goal is to help you navigate those changes and to gain the skills to build a better marriage together. Listen in weekly to The Modern Marriage to help you create the marriage you have always wanted. Sunday evenings from 5 to 6 p.m. here on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. The 35th Annual Cajun Heartland State Fair is underway, presented by LUS, now through June 4th. And News Talk 96.5 KPEL has details on all of the fun waiting for you at the fair. Enjoy the great free attractions at Lagniappe Lane, including the stupendous Circus Hollywood, the always popular pig races, and the adorable puppy pals. There's free parking at Cajun Field next to the Cajun Heartland State Fair. For wristband savings, you can check out the News Talk 96.5 KPEL app on your phone. There, you'll find the News Talk 96.5 KPEL Fun coupon to save $5 on the purchase of a wristband. There's great live and local entertainment every night at the Coca-Cola Grandstand. LUS presents the 35th Annual Cajun Heartland State Fair. Learn more at CajunDome.com or KPEL965.com and click on the Cajun Dome link. Brought to you by News Talk 96.5 KPEL, where Acadiana comes to talk.
Bikers Against Child Abuse, BACA, exists with the intent to create a safer environment for abused children. We exist as a body of bikers to empower children to not feel afraid of the world in which they live. We stand ready to lend support to our wounded friends by involving them with an established, united organization. We work in conjunction with local and state officials who are already in place to protect children. We desire to send a clear message to all involved with the abused child that this child is part of our organization and that we are prepared to lend our physical and emotional support to them by affiliation and our physical presence. We stand at the ready to shield these children from further abuse. We do not condone the use of violence or physical force in any manner. However, if circumstances arise such that we are the only obstacle preventing a child from further abuse, we stand ready to be that obstacle. If you'd like to know more about BACA, please visit our website at bacaworld.org or call 1-866-71-ABUSE.
KPEL covers Acadiana with Lowry's Printing and Copying.
If you're a high school junior or senior and you enjoy playing golf, the Lafayette Consolidated Government Parks Department is offering you a special summer rate, $150 to play unlimited golf June 1st through August 31st at any of their 3 golf courses. You must present a valid school ID card. Get more details and sign up at any of the courses, Jay and Lionel Hebert, Le Vauchane, or the Wetlands. There's a special event for Scotty Walker, who's been band director at Lafayette High School for 30 years, and he is retiring. The event is Saturday, June 3rd at the UL Ballroom in the Union. You get a delicious meal and, of course, honoring Scotty Walker, who's brought great attention to the Lafayette High School band in his 30 years. If you're connected with music in any way you'll want to attend, get your ticket at myevent.com/Scotty Walker, SCOTTY, myevent.com/Scotty Walker. We'll see you there.
If you or your organization has an event that you would like to get on the KPEL community calendar, email it to news@kpel965.com. That's news@kpel965.com.
See, I didn't hear a one that time either.
I don't ever say one.
I know. I like to pick on him about it, though. It makes me happy.
I don't say one because I used to say one, and Cavan would start immediately after I said one, and I'd be like, "You gotta give me a second," because I don't always press the button.
You mean like
segment
talking. before Last? Whenever I started talking, you were like, "Whoa." press the button.
That's different. I fat fingered the button.
Are we on right now?
Yeah, we're on currently. Yeah. This is
Isn't it the space
professional
bar?
radio right now.
Isn't it the space bar that you push?
No, it's not the space bar.
What button do you push to start recording?
The one that says record.
It's a red circle. I click on it with the mouse.
with the
pad.
mouse?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
not really a mouse. It's the laptop pad, but whatever.
I was hoping there was like Control R or something. I was learning. I was trying to
You
learn.
guys want to get deep into it?
Time out.
You are not on the microphone, my friend.
Yeah, you're not on the microphone.
I'm
at all.
wearing headphones.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're saying.
So Sam actually said I fat fingered the button, and we let that go by.
No, yeah.
Hit rewind.
If anybody remembers Wayne's World, they didn't say one at the end of it. Watch Wayne's World. Caleb.
We do that.
I've seen it like a dozen times, but I don't think I was ever
I'll be glued
Rob
in now.
Lowe.
I'm tuned.
Rob Lowe.
glued in. I think tuned in it. Yeah.
There you go.
Switched on.
One of those.
We do that when we shoot commercials as well. The producer goes 3, 2,
Yeah.
and then stops.
Roll that beautiful bean foot. I'm
And,
sorry.
and it's
Yeah.
up to you
So,
to figure that. 1
Speaking
second.
of being switched on and ready, this is hour 2, brought to you by Tree Guardian, right? First hour, Piper's Haven, which I never mentioned, and Grant called me out on that, and I apologize, Renee. You are a wonderful man who knows more about cigars than I know about a lot. It's like, bruh, impressive. But hour 2, Tree Guardian. See, I mentioned it. We're good to go. We can keep rolling now. But what I want to talk about now is our preparations for Implicit birthday. The Grouse Room is the location this year. I'm pretty damn excited. You can say "damn" on the radio, by the way, Jordan. It's not a bad word. Other words, watch
As long
it.
as you say it right after beaver.
I mean, let's calm down, guys.
That was good.
But we are excited. It's gonna be epic. Last year we had a little over 100 people.
Yeah, a little bit over 100 people. I think it was 125 total.
And right now we're looking in the neighborhood of 300.
I can't
So
I can't imagine 300 people. And look, I've been in the Grouse Room. I did a redemption ride there with Clay Higgins, and it was full. But this time on August 3rd.
Name drop.
Oh, well. So this time here, we got August 3rd at the Grouse Room, and we got some phenomenal sponsors. We've got Ritter Consulting, Ciro, see, I said it right, Ciro Trading Company with Alex Saison, Dupuy, Carrier, Godshaw. And then, look, Lee, we keep you around for more than just your smiling attitude. Ritter Consulting, phenomenal group. And I am looking forward to this. Last year we're at the Rustic Renegade, and we thought we could contain it. I mean, everyone else was here. I don't think we could. It was difficult.
It was fun. It was fun doing the live show.
Oh yeah,
that way. And we're sitting here, and when we do this show, even when we do the live shows at different locations, it's super interesting because we're looking at each other, but we don't realize that other people are listening, and they get curious. And I told this story, I don't know, 6 months or so ago. I was having ice cream at a local place. I'll tell it, Baskin Robbins. My son loves Baskin Robbins.
Big plug for Baskin Robbins.
Big plug for Baskin Robbins. So my son and I are having ice cream, and he and I are having a conversation, and this other fella walked in with a couple of his kids. And I could tell he just kind of kept looking over at me. And then finally he came over and he says, "Hey, I got to ask you, are you short pour?"
Isn't it crazy when that happens?
And I laughed and I said, yeah, I am. He said, "Man, I recognized your voice. I told my kids, I said, I'm pretty sure that's him, but I've never seen him." And so actually, I think he had seen me on Facebook, I think, on one of the pictures, but he said, "I heard your voice, and I had to make sure that was you." So he said, "It's nice to meet you." So it was fun. So I'm looking forward to that aspect because that was fun when we did the show the first time for the birthday.
It's great to know that many people listen.
Well, they listen and they pick up on your personality and or the way that you talk or your ideas or whatnot. And I think on here we do a pretty good job of not being controversial or talking about personal specific opinions. But you still are able to pick up our personalities a little bit. And so that's pretty interesting. And I think people are going to be able to see that when they see us talking see us interacting with them in the way that we do things here, because we're doing it right now as we're talking, and I'm using my hands because we feed off of each other that way. And radio's pretty fun like that because you don't get to see it, but you get to hear it. And hopefully you pick up on all of that as the shows go on. So I'm looking forward to that. And I think a lot of people are going to have a lot of fun, especially in a venue like that.
Oh, yeah. I think it's the perfect spot for it.
Look, that had to be more than 100 people in your store. Had you ever had another occasion where you had that many people?
Not that many people.
Because there's a lot of square footage, and there was people in the back. There was people out the back.
You couldn't move.
But look, if we're going to the grouse room, that's fine and everything. But
I want to pack it.
Having it in your shop with the walls lined with AR-15s and knives, and it was so Louisiana, so cultural.
I probably
rich.
need
It
to
was
bring
just
down
fantastic
all the empty bottles from the shop and set them up in the grouse room so people can see what the reds look like, the yellows, the greens, and the blues.
I'm really excited about the. I'm really excited about the segment that we're doing where we're going to actually review, and we're going to be able to do. We're going to be able to get in-person reviews from people who were just happen to be at the show who get the certain ticket level.
Yep, so that's the high proof. We have the standard ticket, which I don't remember what the standard ticket's called. Cavan came up with the phenomenal names, and he spent like 7 weeks figuring out the name of the ticket. But the standard ticket's $100, includes a meal, 8 pours of different bourbons. We have 40 bourbons on tap. Then you have the bottled in bond, which you get a T-shirt and I think a pair of Cavan's underwear. I might be making that last part up, but I'm not 100%.
Wait, did he wear them?
I haven't asked him. So I'll assume, yeah.
I'm curious because it seems like most of the people who come on the show have more or less the same palate. I feel like whenever it comes to whiskey, like we don't tend to have like one person says blue and the other says red. Like, and look, that doesn't ever happen.
I thought that we all really have very different palates because like blue or this and that, but like today, everyone like red.
I'm curious if we have some people out there who are like, I get the sherry cask. That's my thing.
Well, it's interesting because I think Grant has blossomed a lot in the process of the show, and certainly Piz, Louis Pizzolata.
Yep.
Louis is not a bourbon guy.
The first time he was here, he's like, I'm not a bourbon guy.
Yeah, I'm not a bourbon guy. And just recently I was on the show with him, and he specifically acknowledged that. He's like, man, I've learned so much and I've come such a long way. I can appreciate so much difference in the styles and the textures and the tastes that we're having that it's been kind of neat to see. I've certainly learned a lot myself.
I think all of us have learned.
But it's just been an interesting dynamic for sure.
I mean, Sam went from being like couldn't drink bourbon.
It's good. Sam's response. It's good.
He went from how old you have to be to buy a bottle of bourbon to
You know why though? And I brought this up on the show is that Sam has been here for every tasting.
Yeah.
And so look, so he went from young Padawan to like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I got your Jedi reference. I'm enough of a nerd to know what that means.
And so for the listening audience, again, we don't give Sam enough credit, but this is a production, and that's exactly what Sam's doing. So we're sitting here. I've just got my hands free up in the air because I talk with my hands. Sam's over there. He's got 2 hands working a keyboard, working a mixing board, and all kind of other
stuff.
He's
drinking, working a mixing board,
and he's having a sip of whiskey as we speak. So
yeah, I mean that should tell you
youth.
No,
that's what that is. That's youth.
That tells you a lot about his dating life. That's what that is.
The funny thing is, I mean, there's mistakes that happen all the time with the programming of the show, and this is always a conversation with Cavan. It's like, man, you make me drink on the show. Like that's a requirement of the show. There's gonna be things
and that's the beauty about that high proof ticket, which I think there are 20 of those overall available. I don't know how many are left, but that's the ones where Cavan threw Sam under the bus, and he's like, Sam's gonna walk around and interview you.
He voluntold him.
Yeah.
Is that what he did? He voluntold him,
and he's gonna ask you what you think about that bourbon.
And Cavan's an ambitious young man. Cavan oftentimes asks me if we can do things on the show, and it's like, do you realize that electricity exists and you have to like plug one thing into the other?
I love him to death, dude, because he he dreams biblically.
Oh yeah,
right.
Oh yeah,
like in his mind, he's like, my God is this big and can do everything, and he thinks Sam is that big.
Yeah, he'll ask me, is there a way we can get God on the show?
Yeah. I want to interview him too. Look, I got a lot of faith in you, bruh. And I'm looking forward to 20 people talking to you about what they think of these bourbons.
I'll even give another plug for Cavan since you're on a Cavan kick right now. You know, when this whole thing started, I was there with him when he pulled me aside and said, "Man, I've got this idea." We had done another morning show together, he and I, and I kind of thought to myself, dude, I'll go along with you.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to get to this. I couldn't see the vision. He saw the vision, and you know, kudos to him because it's been so much more than what I thought it was. And people tell me all the time, just like I know they tell you guys, people tell us all the time that, man, they love the show. It's just an enjoyable show, whether or not I'm on the show. I think, obviously I'm not on every show, but I think people just like the topics. They like the camaraderie.
It blows my mind how many people think the way we think. You know, how many people have their roots in Christian faith? How many people want to live biblically and still enjoy bourbon? You know, how many people want to raise their kids right and still enjoy bourbon? How many people disagree with the politics of the world and still enjoy bourbon? Like it wows me.
And on that note, I mean, there's going to be some phenomenal bourbons at Implicit Birthday. That was one of the things that blew me away last time.
And we were talking about it earlier. So Jordan was there, and he got to try the Architect before it was released in Louisiana.
And that was the Pinhook Architect, not Pinhook. What is it?
Penelope.
Penelope Architect. Yeah. One of the greatest
that was
bourbons
a blue,
that we've
like
had on the show.
Across the board blue.
Unbelievable bourbon.
I could have drank that like water.
That's the bad thing. But you know what, Burley? You're 100% correct. And you know why? Because on this show, we don't make it a do or die situation, especially the way Cavan steered this show. The thing that he says that hits the deepest is, don't trust me. Don't listen to what we're saying. Find out for yourself. But here's a wonderful point. Go find it and make your own opinion. Because most shows today, whether it be a podcast or TV or radio, they tell you, listen to what we're saying or we're going to, or, you know, count.
Or you're wrong.
Right. Correct. Or you're incorrect. Cavan tells you, and he's going to hate us for doting over him like this. But it needs to be done, and thank goodness he's off the continent for that to happen. But what you said is 100% correct. This is a show where we sit around and we're sociable and we talk and we discuss stuff. And if you have a differing opinion, it's okay. Fine. Bring it to the table.
Because we're not professing that. We're giving you avenues to maybe go look. We're tweaking your curiosity to where you can then go look. If it's something that you're interested in, go dig deeper and hey, bring it back to us. Find something more than we have but look into it. It's just we're an avenue for that. Just like we're an avenue with bourbon. Because if any of you have ever gone into a liquor store, hopefully you're going to News. And you're looking at our partners there and looking at their stock there. But if you ever walked in there and you don't really know what to get, it's overwhelming. So hopefully, really even with our show, you can kind of get an idea of what it is that we've talked about, what it is we've said we've liked, and go there and either ask our partner themselves, Jason over at News in Youngsville, or ask us when you see us, and we'll give you a couple to pick from because it's overwhelming, completely overwhelming.
And force it down your throat.
And while you're being overwhelmed, take a quick break. Don't run away. We'll be right back.
Nobody likes to drive around in a grimy ride. Clean that car the Cajun way. Zydeco Ride and Shine Car Wash at 320 Willow and Cajun Car Wash at 510 Lafayette Street in Youngsville are there for you. Our facilities provide you with the best automatic car wash in the Acadiana area. Regulars get a bonus. Buy 3 washes at a location, get the 4th one free. Zydeco Ride and Shine and Cajun Car Wash, keeping Acadiana's rides clean since 2014.
Sterling Automotive stands by our mission to provide each customer a transparent and honest vehicle purchase experience. Every vehicle is inspected in our certified service departments. We offer a 48-hour return policy and free delivery up to 250 miles. Stop by any of our 3 Sterling Premium Select locations today or visit us online at sterlingpremiumusedcars.com to upgrade your vehicle and your experience.
William S. Nicole Jewelry has been serving the Acadiana area for over 40 years now. Loose diamonds, engagement rings, wedding sets, the most extensive in-store selection Acadiana has to offer. Waterford crystal, Swarovski crystal, and a complete Pandora jewelry shop right on the showroom floor. In-house jewelry repairs and a friendly, knowledgeable staff to assist you. When you want bigger, better diamonds for less, when you want quality merchandise at affordable prices, shop local. Shop William S. Nicole Jewelry, 3802 Johnson Street, Lafayette.
How sweet it is! Gambino's Bakery of Lafayette can satisfy all of your bakery needs. Cakes, cookies, pastries, melt-in-your-mouth petitfours, wedding cakes, and of course, the original New Orleans Dauberge cake. Family owned and operated, let Gambino's Bakery take care of all your dessert needs for your family gathering, tailgate, holiday, or any special occasion. Visit with the baking professionals in Lafayette. Find what fits your taste. Enjoy the sweet life with Gambino's Bakery of Lafayette, 3802 Johnston Street. Call them at 337-406-9066 or online at gambinos.com.
To protect and preserve, call Tree Guardian, a veteran-owned business with over 30 years of arborist experience. The owner, Jacob Guidry, can handle any job, anywhere, understanding when it's time to trim or when it's time to remove. Tree Guardian can help you in any situation. Licensed and insured, Tree Guardian offers emergency services and free consultation. Protect and preserve the trees on your property. Call Tree Guardian at 337-852-4880 or find them at treeguardianusa.com.
This is Moon Griffon for Coin and Treasure, 2472 West Congress. You know, my buddy Louis Pizzolot at Coin and Treasure is a truly great American businessman. If you're a coin collector, silver or gold bullion collector, Louis at Coin and Treasure will have something for you. Louis has over 40 years of experience in the coin business. Visit them at 2472 West Congress. Call them at 232-2573 or visit online at coinandtreasure.com. This is Moon Griffon. You can trust Coin and Treasure.
Welcome back to Implicit Bias. Are we recording now?
We are recording.
Thank you. You make one mistake and I ride that horse until I die.
Oh, I've made one mistake years ago and you still bring it up.
Is that the part that where you don't have air conditioning?
It's an old building, man. It's an old building. There's high ceilings.
Nothing but excuses.
Sam.
Speaking of excuses.
It's not bad right now. Last week, I mean, Cavan always wants to bring like the entire baseball team. Like there's 18 people in the studio.
It was rough last week.
There was a lot of...
We had 8 people in here.
A lot of people breathing in, breathing out.
A lot of hot air.
Bad News Bears?
Well, it's comfortable right now.
It was all about the Sandlot. So, second hour brought to you by Tree Guardian. First hour brought to you by Renee Girard of the Piper's Haven. And while we're getting in doing all this, hit us up on Facebook. Hit us up, go to our website, and look at the Eventbrite. Buy tickets to the Implicit Birthday. Trust me, you want to be there. Thank you all to our sponsors. It'll be a great time. We're going to have fun. Speaking of have fun.
Wait. What is that?
This is my new Microtech Combat Trudon.
Oh.
So Combat
It's
to
a
Microtech.
knife, by the way.
meat-
It's a knife.
It's a knife. Sorry. Look,
That's not Lotar.
Nope. I love my Lotar.
I love my Lotar too.
Lotar just came out with their 5th generation of the knife that you and I have. And you and I, the ones we have are considered collector's items now. But this is an out the front. Here's the sound it makes. This knife is a little different. So Combat's full size for a man of your stature, Burley. That should fit the hand pretty well. That one is a full serrated blade, which I'm not normally a fan of a full serrated blade, but it just works. That's a stout knife. Pull straight back on the button.
Okay.
Little stout. That way you don't accidentally stab yourself. So, and recently, just so you know, I've learned that my youngest is 13 years old. Remington's his name. Imagine that. Has 27 pocket knives.
Nice.
It's I think he's inherited a sickness, is what it is. Use your man hands, Grant. You have little thumbs. Pull back. You got it.
It has to be stout to come out that quick.
Oh yeah,
that's a good amount of pressure.
It deploys.
I like that.
Deploys quickly.
That's handy.
And it won't go off
I
in
like
your
that.
pocket.
No,
it doesn't.
No, it won't.
It doesn't feel as good in your hand because that Lotar.
That Lotar's got that forward cant.
It fits
it's
my
thin.
I've got decent sized hands, as do you. That it fits my hand a little bit better than that. That one doesn't have much curve to it on the
We
side.
had a guy came in the shop the other day and we're talking to him and he's like, "Look, My Benchmade that I've had for 5 years broke, and I need something to replace it. And the whole time he's talking, and he's like, I want a forward can. I want a hard, like a VG10 steel, and I want thin, and I want tip-up carry. And I'm like, let me show you this new Lotar. And he held it, and he goes, oh, my God.
It flipped. Didn't you show me that
Yep.
a couple of weeks ago? It flipped.
It flipped that way.
good,
It's
yeah.
tip up, and,
Yeah.
and dude, just phenomenal knife. And he's like, this is exactly what I want.
400,
Right at 400.
Yeah.
And then he saw the price, and he's like, well, I want something a little bit less. I'm like, look, we can do that. You know, we can work with that dollar amount because there's a knife for every budget. Not everyone's going to want a $400 pocket knife.
Right.
You know, $50 is a great number. $50 to $100, you can get a phenomenal knife. When you start looking at that $300-$400 price range, there's a reason why it costs more.
Yeah, I think the one you and I have, that Lotar, that was 3 something.
Yep. Back when we got it was in the low to mid threes.
Okay.
And now that knife is I sell them for right at $4. Retail, I think, is just shy of $500.
What's this one go for?
This knife, this is a $450 pocket knife.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a little stout. They make other models, but that full serrated blade that adds to the value because it's a lot of machine time, a lot of work.
Construction though.
Oh yeah,
You can feel that. That's just solid.
It's
the trigger
stout.
release on that is just,
It is very stout. Speaking of stout,
Sorry, I didn't mean to get sideways, but I saw it and I'm like, what is that?
I go down rabbit holes.
sidetrack. Yeah.
I go down rabbit holes. So speaking of stout, Justin from the shop has been texting me today when he's supposed to be in gunsmithing school. I got like 12 texts from him about Twitter and how they canceled the special on gender. Have y'all seen anything about that? I didn't send that to anybody. So they were supposed to do like, what is a woman? That's the special they were doing, right? Elon Musk has put out a bunch of tweets and other things. I have a Twitter. I haven't logged on in months. But talking about that, I recently went down the rabbit hole of how many genders exist today. I still in my like Cro-Magnon mind, I mean, you have male and female. I don't understand.
Just two.
Yeah, 2. Like the math is easy. 2. I've got 2 boys. 2. Yeah, 2 boys. And then my wife is a woman. I am a man, male and female. That's kind of how I thought it was. I learned something. Do you realize there are a number of books out there, but according to sexual, can I say that, Sam?
You just did.
Yeah. Sexualdiversity.org. And I think it just stands for org. I don't think it stands for anything else. There are 107 genders.
Oh.
Like, just so you know, there's a list in here.
I'm looking at it now.
I don't know what these words mean.
What's 159?
I don't think anyone knows what these words mean.
Well, it's 159 if you count Klingon.
I haven't gotten to the K's yet.
Audi gender?
Yeah. A-binary. I don't know what A-binary, A-gender, ambigender,
Can't keep up. You
and
can't keep up with it.
androgyne, androgynous, androgynous.
Androgynous.
No,
Androgynous means
A
zero.
pora
Zero.
gender.
it's not androgynous.
A pora gender.
A pora gender.
Androgynous.
Audi gender? AU, not Audi the
Is
car.
that if you drive an Audi?
Audi.
Yeah.
Audi gender.
That's just the A's. Look, how
I
can
recognize this one. Butch.
and you know the derogatory term that we have? If we go, I think it's C. Yeah.
The bell?
So the only ones that I notice. So there are 4 genders that mean 2 things. If you go to the C's, cis male, cis man, cis woman, cis female, and then they have cisgender. You know what cisgender means and cis all this other stuff?
Like you could pop it.
I've heard it.
It's a
but I don't
cis.
know.
So everyone here in this room, to include Sam, is cisgender. This is a derogatory term. It means you identify as the gender you were assigned at birth.
Correct.
I don't
Yeah, there
I
is
don't
no
care
such
what you
category.
identify
It's so cut and dry.
as.
Yeah, it's
You're-
what you identify with has nothing to do with the way you actually come
twig and
out.
berries, no twig and berries.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Like,
so I was
Ken
thinking about this today. It was
You didn't Google it, did you?
No, I didn't Google it. Like I said,
They track that.
Like I said, took a bunch of biology courses, and going back to biology, there are two genders. You could argue there's hermaphrodites, but that's
minuscule percentage.
Yeah.
And even then, there's still two of two genders. Huh? Oh, eunuch.
What are we really trying to accomplish here?
Okay,
what is the end goal?
I don't understand.
I'm trying to get to a point.
Okay, well, we're getting there. Takes you a little longer than me sometimes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you talk faster. So it's not actually genders, it's gender identity, and it's what they identify as, but that doesn't change the way biology works. It doesn't change that.
So if I say that I think you're green, does that change the color of your skin?
No, it doesn't.
But it's what I see.
Yeah, but no, it's not what you see. It's what you think.
I identify as a multi-billionaire.
That's what so that was going to be my point. I identify as a multi-millionaire, but if I go to my bank account and there's not $1 million in there, then it doesn't work.
I'm suing somebody. Who do I sue?
I think the frustrating thing for me is that I think this conversation is about respect, right? Like, are you respecting that other person across from you? And the issue that I have is that respect doesn't begin and end with language. Like all growing up, we were all taught the proper way to greet someone. You know the thing about whenever you go to a proper dinner that there's knives and forks you're supposed to use, whatever.
Special spoons.
Whatever. Yeah, there's all this grandeur built into society and all that stuff. But at the same time, there's a difference between what the correct way to do things and the incorrect way to do things and the way that you feel. And sometimes people will treat you in a way where they use all the right words and they do all the correct things, but you still feel like that person doesn't respect you. While at the same time, there are people who don't use all those correct words and don't do all those correct things, but you feel like they respect you, they identify with you.
It's gotten convoluted at this point because when you boil it all down, when it comes to biology against psychology. So biologically, there are two genders, and there is no refuting that. But psychologically, if you choose to not offend someone, if they choose to identify against that scale, that very simplistic scale, then it's on you that you've offended someone.
Well, even
so
if someone
psychologically,
even if someone chooses to be offended, when we reach 107 gender identities, how can
absurd
to be even want to be just polite? There's no way that I can sit down and be like, well, no, they are. What letter are you on right now?
P. I'm on the P.
Give me a P, not pan. Give me a P.
Well, I have
polygender.
Polygender. So if they're polygender, how can I give them any form of respect when I'll be 100% honest with you? I have no clue what the hell that is.
But it doesn't matter because you're expected to respect that person's decision to be identified as a poly.
That's the issue, is the expectation.
The expectation of respect.
But the biology of it is irrefutable. You can't. I mean, it's psychology against biology, and biology science has always been. These are the facts. This is irrefutable. What you choose and what you think you are, and look. We all had that kid in first grade who walked through the class and said, "I'm a dinosaur." And we all said, look at little Timmy. Oh, look at little Sammy. He's so funny. He's a dinosaur. But these days, it's look at little Sammy. He's a dinosaur. We have to respect the fact that he is now a T-Rex.
Well, and look, I'm going to say this. I'm certainly in this conversation, none of us are trying to offend anyone or whoever might be listening that might actually
just identify. Trying to understand.
Who might identify as any one of these
107.
Off the wall names. Sekhet. I don't know what that is. Sekhet. I don't know what that is. But at the end of the day, common sense tends to override with me. Reality is a guiding post for me. Okay, so if I'm sitting here talking to a male you're a male. I can't process anything else in that particular realm. Understanding that there's surgeries and whatnot that have taken place these days and medicine that may change that. But at the end of the day, you are still the person that you were born. And if I knew you 20 years ago, it's hard for me today to say, well,
it's hard to disassociate that. And just like it's hard to figure out what someone else identifies as nowadays, it's hard to take this break.
To protect and preserve, call Tree Guardian, a veteran-owned business with over 30 years of arborist experience. The owner, Jacob Guidry, can handle any job, anywhere, understanding when it's time to trim or when it's time to remove. Tree Guardian can help you in any situation. Licensed and insured, Tree Guardian offers emergency services and free consultation. Protect and preserve the trees on your property. Call Tree Guardian at 337-852-4880 or find them at treeguardianusa.com.
Acadiana's premier venue for live music is the Grouse Room downtown. The Grouse Room hosts concerts and is also a private venue for all occasions. From your largest, most extravagant events to intimate gatherings, the Grouse Room unites Acadiana's creative and business communities. Explore the concert calendar as well as the luxurious spaces at www.thegrouseroom.com or call 337-806-9098. Visit the Grouse Room.
Want the secret to the best old-fashioned? It's Sirop. Sirop de Saison old-fashioned cocktail mixer is small batch and handcrafted by the Saison family in South Louisiana. With notes of vanilla bean, toasted molasses, and pure cane sugar, Sirop de Saison complements your favorite bourbon or rye without overpowering. Look for Sirop de Saison wherever you buy your favorite whiskey. When you want an old-fashioned cocktail made uniquely your way, the choice is clear. Sirop with a P. Sirop de Saison.
Drink Kacheri's Coffee, the official coffee of Implicit Bias. Available at La Creperie on Colley's Saloon, at the Rustic Renegade, Automotive Gear on Judson Walsh in Opelousas, and the Chill House, the dessert destination in Maurice. Kacheri's Coffee, the official coffee of Implicit Bias.
Can't find an Uber or Lyft? Luxury Limo of Lafayette offers scheduled pickups and drop-offs and even airport transportation in style. Get dropped off and picked up in their luxurious 12-passenger Mercedes-Benz Sprinter with limo-style interior or their Cadillac Escalade SUV. Reserve a sleek black town car for a night out with friends or dinner with your sweetheart. That's Luxury Limo of Lafayette, 565-4385 or luxurylimooflafayette.net. Spoil yourself to luxury with Luxury Limo of Lafayette.
Hey Acadiana, I'm Kathleen Terrio with Next Home Cutting Edge Realty. I know realtors seem to be on every corner, but the good ones aren't. I promise to give you top-notch customer service that includes honesty, availability, and professionalism. If you're looking for a realtor you can trust and is available during your most important purchase, call me, Kathleen, where the service goes beyond the closing day. For all your commercial needs, investment properties, or your next home, call Kathleen with Next Home Cutting Edge Realty, 337-412-1536. That's 337-412-1536. Or find me on the web searching Kathleen Terrio Realtor.
And here we go.
Welcome back to the Implicit Bias. This is the penultimate segment. I'm Caleb Morris, your host, and Sam Stokes in the corner has figured out how to push buttons.
Hey, you figured out how to say my name?
Look, I am a bottle of whiskey, not a bottle of whiskey.
We always say the second hour is
it gets
better.
way better.
So that's why. That's what you start to hear, right?
And
there.
just so you know, I'm having difficulty because I'm still trying to pronounce this word.
I know which one you're going to say.
The last segment, we talked about the 107 genders. And Sam has exercised his Google foo for the word Vakasakalawia.
Vakasalawalawia.
Vakasalawalawia. Yeah, that's it.
Wasn't she with
didn't she do Lewis and Clark?
Yeah, Lewis and Clark.
Did, yeah.
There was
this is one of the 107 genders. And look, Sam, I need you to educate me momentarily, please.
I don't know if I can pronounce this, man. Vakasalawalawa are people from Fiji who were born assigned male at birth, but who have feminine gender expression.
And just so you know, we have learned in these 107 genders, Fijians, this is their thing. There's one for Samoans, There's all kinds of other ones. There are terms that I have never heard of. And look, we discussed it. We went down the rabbit hole. And look, while we all here believe that there are two genders, this 107 identifying thing, this is nonsense.
What's the Cajun one?
Yeah, I was about to say, what's the Cajun one?
Isn't that one Cavan?
What is
Can I say that on the radio?
I don't know.
Okay, well, no one knows what it means.
I don't think the FCC is going to get mad at that.
I know we like Cavan. If you're this gender, you like Cavan.
Yeah. So it's just.
Do I bleep that? I don't even know what to do. What do I do?
No, you don't bleep that.
Yeah,
at
don't
all.
believe that one.
Look it up later.
So someone's nanaz in the background going Mayweather.
Man, I can't believe they said that.
So like this is crazy.
Sorry, Mom.
Like 107 identified genders, and look, we looked at some stuff. We looked at some. I pulled up a Caitlyn Jenner video, and we talked about that briefly while we were off air. And it's so hard to just communicate now. It really is so hard to communicate with people because there's so much that's offensive.
You mean difficult? You mean difficult?
It's
difficult.
weird that gender would be
Yeah.
fluid, but nationality wouldn't be fluid as well.
Oh, that's a good
Because
point.
at what point is anything?
Because there's Samoan and there was Fijian.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's another one that's like Wawarong or
Like,
something
can
in
I
there. I don't know.
identify as a Fijian person?
Well, they had the one where one of our representatives or whatever identified as African American, and that was shot down.
Yeah, right.
So it's just crazy how what you can identify as and what you can't is out there. I mean, there's a girl, a female, born female, that Jordan and I went to high school, went to elementary school, junior high, and high school with this person. And look, she's a lesbian. She's got kids, and she does a great job of raising them. And she's a Republican. It doesn't make sense on the surface. It really doesn't. But I know when I communicate with her, I am not talking to her like what was that word, Sam?
I'm not going to say that again, man.
The vaca
soul.
I almost got you to say it. Almost. It's difficult. I don't see how anyone can keep up with this.
But do you see how simple that was? Because you identified 2 or 3 very distinct classes where she's female, she's a lesbian, she's a Republican. And for us sitting around this table, we can accept all 3 of those classifications. But when you bring 107 into it, and if you had added 4 or 5 more names to that,
no sense.
Then it gets a little convoluted. Because when you said, I'm fine, she's a Republican, I'm fine, she's a lesbian. If you had said she's a Democrat and she's a there's so few classes that we do well with simplicity. So either way, I don't care if she's a lesbian. I don't care if she's a Democrat or a Republican. She's a mother. She's raising her children. I respect you. And I will listen to your opinion. I respect what you're saying.
And it's easy to
when all of a sudden
when we break it down that way, it's easy to respect somebody. When you
Correct.
start like, look, I'm let me find another term in here. I don't know what it means.
Add a couple more
pick me
into
a letter.
that,
Pick
and
me
it
a letter.
becomes
Well, that's what comes with inclusion. Like you want to include even Chick-fil-A.
There's no L.
They doing
Really?
they're
Yeah,
doing
there's no L.
inclusion.
Do I get points for
I heard
that?
that was debunked.
Well,
That
the
wasn't factual.
well the president. It's not that he's donating. He's just saying that he's including everybody. It doesn't matter what they are.
Even
what
Dolly
they-
Parton, right? Like the trans community loves Dolly Parton. And she was like, look, I don't care. At the end of the day, I don't care. I think that we should respect one another because that's what human beings do. There's no L, but there's a K, and it's a Cthulhu. I don't know what that is.
God bless you.
I think that's the important word, man. Respect, right?
No, but it's actually a really good point
And
because
that's-
politically, when you bring it up, a lot of times this stuff is it's inclusionary because what can we do to include these people for our political gain as opposed to doing it for their own psychological.
They're just doing it as Christians.
Into the microphone.
Correct.
Yeah, sorry, they're just doing it as Christians.
And that's the
Correct.
thing is, look, respect is earned. And I think all of us agree to that.
Absolutely.
Respect is earned. You have to earn it. You don't just get given respect because you're vakalahawaha.
I think there's
Right.
a degree of respect that's just given. You know, there's a baseline, right? Like whenever
Man,
you
have you
walk
seen
into
people
a
at
store-
Walmart?
No, I'm talking about the people at the table right here. I think generally, I mean, I've seen you guys interact with other people. There is a baseline of respect that's extended to every individual.
You
right?
are correct.
There absolutely has to be.
That's part of our social contract. Is we want people to feel respected, needed, and wanted, because that's what individuals want. They want to feel needed and wanted, and that's what a good Christian person tries to impart upon other
I
people.
love that you said social contract.
There's a validation that so many different classifications need to have. They need to have that validation.
That's the thing is you say social contract, Grant, you say validation. And I think the validation is going above and beyond the social contract, right?
Thank you.
Like you have this baseline of respect that you extend to everyone. And yet there's this expectation to go beyond that and treat someone above and beyond what you would treat every other human that you encounter. And that's where you kind of run into this friction where it's like, what else do I have to do for you?
Because how far do you push the bounds?
Exactly.
I don't know, but I'm going to push the bell. Can we change the topic? What's next?
I really don't have any other topics. I like to shortchange myself on these. It's like I like to short pour you sometimes.
Yeah, well.
I mean, we've had an incredible turn of events whenever it comes to whiskey for sure, because we went from a red all around to some of the highlights of some of the finest whiskeys that we've had on the show.
When I look at this table,
yeah, exactly.
Definitely drinking a blue right now.
Yeah, exactly. Because if everybody could see this table, this is why we don't do a podcast, because it looks like
there are 5 bottles.
Yeah, there are 5 bottles laying
Now,
here.
granted, these bottles, one of the bottles were full. Actually, I took the other one away. So they're technically 6 bottles.
This one was empty.
Holy moly.
There was one
They had about a sip of in each.
Yeah, this one had a sip.
Disclaimer: I did not drink a whole bottle.
And that's what I love about coming here and doing this. Look, we sit down, and if we have something we don't like, there's a backup, right? And when you look at the table in front of us and the things we've sampled, the things we've tasted, I don't think 2 years ago, before Implicit started, 2 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to tell you, Long Branch, Piggyback, Four Roses, any of the, I wouldn't know the difference. But yet, here we are, 2 years in, about to have another Implicit birthday, and my personal palate has grown so much. Sorry, yeah.
No, I got you. The funny thing is, I understood that.
Yeah, I've sipped a little bit.
I don't know about you guys. Go ahead, Burley.
I'm sorry, but I've said it before on the show. We've done so many of these. We've had so many fine bourbons, whiskeys, ryes. But I'm looking across the table right now at this, which I had a little pour. I'm going to give one more plug for this. Four Roses.
Here.
Has been consistent across the board. And if somebody's listening and you're trying to figure out, man, I want something that I can put on my bar, that I can drink neat, I can drink over ice. I don't mind if somebody mixes it with Coke or water or whatever. I'm telling you, Four Roses. This one happens to be
that's a small
batch select, but Four Roses single barrel. You can probably find for about $45
That's
to
right around
$49. Four Roses single barrel. Not many bourbons are single barrel, but you find that. I'm telling you, but Four Roses is just so consistent.
When you look at all the things we've tried, right? So we tried Sagamore earlier, the sherry cast. Sherry cast.
Twice the price of
right.
the Four Roses.
It is. It was a $70 bottle, right?
Compared to the Four Roses.
And all of our opinions here was a red.
Right.
It was way too sweet for what we like. Someone out there is going to enjoy it. But I never would have tried that. Never would have looked at that bottle if it wasn't for Implicit.
Right.
And here we are. Jason from New News brought that and a bunch of others to the shop. And he sat down and he said, Caleb, you're probably not going to like this one. And he was right. He said, but this one's my jam. This one's the one that you need to sample. This one's the one you're going to enjoy. And I was like, okay, well, we'll wait for that one. I wanted like, look, let's rip the Band-Aid off. I have had more bourbons. Growing up, Jordan and I went to elementary, junior high, high school together, military and all that stuff. Jack Daniels, when I finally got into whiskeys, that kind of stuff, Jack Daniels was kind of it. A little bit of Crown Royal. Then we drank Wild Turkey. There's so many other things out there. So many. And I'm to the point now in my whiskey palate, in my whiskey life, If I see something I've never seen before, I'm like, let me try that. I never would have done that 2 years ago. I'm like, you know what? That left-handed twiller bottle, yeah, we'll try that. How much is it? Yeah, I'll take it.
And this show proves that you don't have to shop by price.
No, yeah.
We've had several $100 bottles of bourbon and whiskey on the show and compared it next to and poured it right after.
You look at the Pinhooks, the Penelopes, Idle Hands. There's so many out there we've had that
Absolutely. You do not have to spend a lot of money to get good bourbon. I will say that time and time and again.
Oh yeah, we proved that here tonight.
Absolutely.
The Four Roses is $39, $40 a bottle, and
don't you mean Small Roses?
Small Roses. It's so impressive. The things that you'll learn and experience if you just take the time to try it. And with one more break, one more pause, and we'll be right back for our finals.
Men want to look like men. That means when it's time for a fresh cut, men go where men go. All American Barbering. Licensed barber Nick Duplashan and the staff at All American Barbering do it right. From old school haircuts to straight razor shaves to beard trim and shaping. Even boys look like men after a cut from All American Barbering. A veteran-owned business, All American Barbering is located in Broussard at 807 Albertsons Parkway, Suite B. Schedule your appointment to look like a man at their website, allamericanbarbering.com. Remember, men, when you want to look like a man, go to Broussard. Go to All American Barbering.
To protect and preserve, call Tree Guardian, a veteran-owned business with over 30 years of arborist experience. The owner, Jacob Guidry, can handle any job, anywhere, understanding when it's time to trim or when it's time to remove. Tree Guardian can help you in any situation. Licensed and insured, Tree Guardian offers emergency services and free consultation. Protect and preserve the trees on your property. Call Tree Guardian at 337-852-4880 or find them at treeguardianusa.com.
Want the secret to the best old-fashioned? It's Sirop. Sirop de Saison old-fashioned cocktail mixer is small batch and handcrafted by the Saison family in South Louisiana. With notes of vanilla bean, toasted molasses, and pure cane sugar, Sirop de Saison complements your favorite bourbon or rye without overpowering. Look for Sirop de Saison wherever you buy your favorite whiskey. When you want an old-fashioned cocktail made uniquely your way, the choice is clear. Sirop with a P. Sirop de Saison.
Ever think about firearm safety? Are you new to shooting? Don't know how to get started? Here's Caleb with the Rustic Renegade.
I love new shooters because they don't have any bad habits yet. So you get somebody who hasn't been around it, hasn't been around firearms, or hasn't done a lot of shooting. We can sit down in a very safe environment where there's no live ammunition, no risk of any residuals, and train them the right way before they actually get on a range and go and do some live fire.
Why don't you come in and have a cup of coffee with us? The Rustic Renegade and therusticrenegade.com.
Drink Kacheri's Coffee, the official coffee of Implicit Bias. Available at La Creperie on Colley Saloon, at the Rustic Renegade, Automotive Gear on Judson Walsh in Opelousas, and the Chill House, the dessert destination in Maurice. Kacheri's Coffee, the official coffee of Implicit Bias.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Welcome back to Implicit Bias. I'm Caleb Morris with the Rustic Renegade. I'll go ahead and do intros with the wonderful crew we have here with us. Sam Stokes, I'm going to introduce you second, Sam. Is that okay?
That was first.
Yeah, that was first.
No, I introduced myself first.
Okay.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Grant Galato, William S. Snake Calls to my right. And then I got Burley Palaran with Zadoko Rajanshan and my buddy Jordan Richard across from me here. This is Jordan's first show. I think you've enjoyed it so far, right? Little. Is it what you thought it would be?
So much and more.
A little more laid back than you thought, huh? Thought it would be a little more technical. Let's interview this guy. Let's do this.
Sam does all the technical stuff. I don't do that.
Yeah.
That's what he gets paid. And he gets paid 50 cents an hour for this.
So, yeah, more or less.
50 cents an hour. I love it.
So I didn't really have a topic for this, but then here in the break, and we went down a wonderful rabbit hole. And that is, Burley was asking about the Implicit Bias Whiskey Tasting Journal. And going back and reading some of the things we've written about the whiskeys, the bourbons, the things we've tasted, and the memories we had with them and the way we described them, it blew my mind.
It's so unique when you look at it that way. Because I mean, we forget. Let's face it, we forget. I mean, you you think you remember, but
yeah, you try. But we've
a couple of the labels you might remember.
At my shop, I think I have 147 bottles.
But reading through it, I remember because you said something. I wrote off-putting.
Yeah.
And I remember it's like, oh yes, I remember that. Very off-putting. That was not good. So it's very interesting. So I'm gonna tease you with this for those listeners who have asked about it. This might be available in some way, shape, or form at Implicit Birthday. I'm not making any promises. I think
you have a good
conferred
idea
with the boss.
Because the books themselves are available, and we've got them on Amazon. You can buy them at my shop. You can buy them through our Facebook page, everything else too. But this book in particular,
It's our notes.
Look, I have horrible handwriting, and I'm going back and looking. And 21 December 2022 is our first time we wrote in these. That's whenever I remember Cavan. We did a dinner at his house.
2021.
So 2022. Sorry,
2021.
No,
is it 2021 or 22?
2022. 22 is when we wrote in this the first time.
Okay,
because we talked about it, and then Cavan and Elizabeth finally designed it, worked it up. They put words in here I didn't know what Fenty meant. I mean, I still don't know. I Google every once in a while, and they put a lot of effort into this. And when this thing showed up, it was phenomenal the way that you can write down and catalog your samplings. So here we are, December of 2022. So we're a year and we'll call it a half into this, and maybe about half the book is full.
No, it's 2023 right now.
Oh, yeah. So all of 20. You're right. I'm sorry. So we're 7 months into it.
Okay.
We'll call it 7 months into it. And half the book is full because we do a lot of doubles and everything else.
Yeah, right.
And when I sit down and look back at this, and right here, I just turned to a random page, Whistle Pig, it says passing glasses in time. I put notes. Apparently I got philosophical in front. Testing yesterday, serving tomorrow. I go, okay, yeah, sure, why not? But I look at the notes that we have in here, the things that we tasted. Here's Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Select. That got 5 greens. And you can sit down and look at it and be like, I remember that. Yeah. And when we see the adjectives that we wrote, the way that we tasted it, you forget so much. I never would have, looking back, my mother came in the shop a while back and she saw the bottles along the top and she goes, honey,
you might have.
We should probably get you in a facility.
No, really, Mom, it's for work.
And I'm look, it's not that big of a deal. Sam drinks those more than I do. And you should see his collection. And when I look at him, I'm like, oh, I remember that one and that one and that one. And I feel bad because 2022 is when we started writing in this. And there's so many good whiskeys and bourbons that did not get put in this book. There are so many that we tried, we sampled that.
Here's a novel idea. We could go back.
We should.
We have the list, don't we?
We do. We have the list, and Sam has the recordings.
So we could go back.
So
and we could do that first year.
Just like Cavan threw Sam under the bus with the higher proof, should I say Sam's going to go back and catalog all of them? Would that be?
Just think about it.
Is that too far of a step, Sam?
You could say it.
Well, just think. We've now doubled our listeners. So there's 40 people listening now.
Yeah.
And so back then there were only 20. So there's 20 more people who would love to hear what we talked about a year ago.
Hey, Burley, you don't realize how great an idea that is, because if you go back on it now that you have a more refined palate and you have more of
be awesome.
A library to,
we've
to
been mulling around the idea.
Would you experience it the same way?
That's a great point, because we actually did.
That would be fascinating.
The first blue that we had on the show was I believe it was the Pinhook Rye Humor.
Yep. It was a 13 hands? 19 hands.
Well, I remember the Pinhook Rye Humor, so I'm going to talk about that one.
Okay.
That was before
it was yellow or orange bottle, one of the two.
It was like a light blue.
Oh, you're right. It was a little teal colored.
Yeah. So it was
I still have a little bit of that bottle left.
So I remember that being like the first
different bottle, but I have it. Yeah, that's the
as a relatively new whiskey drinker, that was like the first time I had a whiskey that was like, oh my god, this is incredible. And then we had it again like a year and a half later. And it was so interesting tasting it again because I tasted things that I'd never recalled tasting. It was a totally different experience.
With a more experienced palate.
And one of the things we've talked about is going back and sampling all of our blues and being like, what's the next color? Because I remember Justin from the shop in Cavan talked about it. Because I'm like, no, I don't care. Blue is blue. Like, there's no best of the blues. It's just a blue. And they're like, no, there should be like a gold star. Or Vasilakawaki.
There could be.
There may end up being one, but I do think that it would behoove us to go back and sample them again. The problem we're going to have is like that one, that rye humor. Good luck finding that bottle.
Yeah.
That was like a 2019 select. So I think I still have some left. There's still a few bottles, but it's some of the stuff we've tasted. It's so hard to find.
Unobtainium.
We tried that as well. Obtainium.
To get philosophical with you, they say a man never crosses the same river twice because the man is not the same man and the river is not the same river.
Oh my God. Look at you. Wow.
Very zen. I love it.
Wow.
That's very zen.
So it would be interesting.
Very zen, and we'll be auctioning off a date with him at the Implicit dinner. Bids start at how much? How much does it cost to go on a date with you?
$6,000.
Okay.
Oh. Yeah.
Wow.
I bet you'll.
That's the down payment. That's
will you start crying if someone's like, I got $6,000 on that?
I might. We'll see.
But awesome. It's the bourbons we've had, the things we've tasted. It blows my mind, especially when I look back. You know, the first sip of bourbon I had or whiskey I had was with Jordan. And I remember our favorite subject we used to say was Turkey 101. And I don't want to drink that crap anymore. But yet across from us right now, we have a Wild Turkey product.
And a Jack Daniels.
And a Jack Daniels product. But it's not what we had back in the day.
Yeah. Well, that's because Apple's didn't sell that.
Yeah, it was a little, you couldn't find this back then, you know? And it just, to see how we've grown over the years, all of us here at the table, Sam, who's at a separate table because he's too good for us, it just blows my mind. It really does. And when I look at the support we had last Implicit birthday, the people that showed up, I don't know if y'all were surprised. I was surprised. Like, whenever Cavan's like 100 tickets, Caleb, I'm like, 100 people aren't going to pay to sit down and drink whiskey with us. I don't know if it was because of us or they just wanted the whiskey. And then now we're like, you know what, 300. The grouse room, 300. A separate seating for 20. I'm like, separate seating for 20? No one, high-proof tickets? No one's going to pay $150 for that. Guess what? They want it because there's going to be 40. The standard tickets get you 40 different bourbons, hard to find, hard to get. The high-proof, something completely different. And the things that we've tasted, the things we've sampled, things that I never in my life would have thought that I would drink or enjoy. But it's the chance to have the fellowship like we're having now with the people that we're discussing it with that make it that much better. And it just blows my mind that we actually have people that listen to us. Never in my life. When Cavan and when he talked about this and I was like, yeah, I'm in. I think that'll be fun. He's like, Caleb, you don't understand, man. I need you in on this. I want you to be committed. And I'm like, yeah, I'm in. He goes, no, I need you. Shake hands. And we shook hands. And then 6 months later, he's like, all right. All right, what? All right. And then Implicit Bias started. And unfortunately, sometimes it ends. So for this show, this is the end. But we'll see. What you got, Jordan? You have seconds.
Okay. So closing thought for your Saturday. We come off Memorial Day weekend. It's a good time to see my great friend and to see him succeed and meet new people. Great friendship is never lost. And I hope you'll have a great weekend.
Implicit Bias is produced by and copyright of Pipe Dream Entertainment, LLC.
This program has been paid for by Pipe Dream Entertainment.
You're listening to News Talk 96.5, KPEL, Breaux Bridge, Lafayette, a Town Square media station.
NewsTalk 96.5, KPEL.
The following program is paid for by Magellan Financial.
The views expressed in the following show are those of the hosts or hosts only. They do not represent NewsTalk 96.5 KPEL or Town Square Media.
This is Retire Smart Louisiana with retirement consultants Karen Bienvenue and Gary Powles, President and Vice President of Retire Smart Louisiana. Karen and Gary bring over 60 years of guidance to the Bayou by helping you achieve your retirement goals. We value your beliefs as much as we value your financial mission by designing asset protection and customized retirement optimization strategies for you, our radio listeners. And now, here is Retire Smart Louisiana with Karen Bienvenue and Gary Powles.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Retire Smart Louisiana. I'm your host today, Paul Gebhardt, with our very special guest. I'd like to welcome back Karen Bienvenue and Gary Powles. Welcome back, you guys.
Thank you, Paul. Good to be back.
It's always good to have you.
Good to see you again, Paul.
It's good to see you, Karen.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. I know, right?
Yeah.
How about my LSU tie?
Beautiful.
Love it. So you got to thank Sylvia for me. Tell you what, that's just amazing. Just an amazing thing.
Yeah.
So listen, speaking of LSU and the people of the good state of Louisiana, a lot of things going on these days, right, folks?
Oh, no
Absolutely.
doubt. So we want to talk today a little bit about, retirement planning, making sure that people's money's secure. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Okay. I want to start out the gate. Tell me, Karen, how important is it for folks to have a good foundation in retirement?
Well, we find a lot of people going through retirement are coming in through the doors with some retirement debt. And you cannot go into retirement with debt. So what do? They don't know where to go. Their guys aren't telling them anything. They don't know how to plan. So what do we do?
Yeah.
So Gary and I came up with we always come with solutions to take care of the problems that you have first. Because once you fix people's problems, they're going to have a better and a more happy retirement. Let me give you an example. We had a couple that came in not too long ago, and they had a house note. Going into debt with a $1,200 house note is devastating if you're just wanting to live off of Social Security. So I said, Karen, we need some help. I said, well, number one, I'll recommend don't retire till you get that debt paid for.
Right.
And that way, because we don't understand what things are going to happen to us in the future to where we may not be able to make it. Like today, look what's happening with inflation.
You're right, it's crazy.
So I told them, I said, so let's do this. So we got them to apply for a 0% interest-free credit card where we're going to use other people's money to pay off their debt. So how does that work?
Okay.
Well, you get a credit card that you get approved for 0% interest-free credit, and you can put as much as you want on it that you're approved for, depending on how good your credit is. And we can go like 2 or 3 years down the road and borrow that amount of money.
Okay.
And the extra money that they have while they're retiring, we use that money to pay that debt off. But you can't imagine the interest that's applied to that loan is like all of it's pretty much going to the principal.
Yeah.
And so I did that with a couple, and instead of paying their house note off in 8 years, we were able to pay it off in 4.
Wow, you cut it in half.
Cut it in half.
Wow.
And they were so excited. I would have never thought to do that. I said, again, you need to learn how to retire smart. Come see a specialist. And that's just one of many problems that we deal with people. There's so many others.
Yeah.
And now with the government changing so rapidly and we don't know what direction we're going to go into, you need to seek someone that can fix just about any problem going through the door. And if there's a problem that you have that we can't fix, we will seek it out and find out what we can do to help you. Because we care what happens to your accounts. We want you to retire smart. We want you to be happy in retirement. And if you do come, you're going to be glad you do, because that's what we hear from everyone that walks through our doors.
Well, let's face it, if you want to be free in America, you got to get debt free.
Yes.
Right? I mean, that's the bottom line. So I think it's an amazing plan. So thank you for doing that for those folks. Gary, I want to ask you a question if I can.
Sure.
What should a retirement plan look like?
I'll tell you what, Paul, before I even answer that question, I'd like to talk about a couple that came into the office. They actually watched our TV show, and they came in and they were very upset and over some recent market losses that really hit them pretty hard.
Yeah, I understand that.
And the problem with it is they really didn't have any kind of plan in place like Karen's talking about. You have a plan. What do you do when the market goes down, or what do you do when you're not getting the gains that you need to keep up with inflation? All these things affect everybody. Well, this couple came in and sitting there talking to him, I could tell the little lady was teary-eyed. And I said, ma'am, are you okay? She said, absolutely not. I'm not okay. She says, I want to talk about what we've experienced in the market just recently. She says, in the last 6 months, we've lost the equivalent of both of our salaries for 2 years.
Wow.
What?
Yes.
Wow.
So now they're in a predicament because looking forward, they were taking that money and they were actually investing it into their retirement. So now they've got literally 2 years that they have to make up the losses for, okay? And they'd have to get 100% return to get those losses back, okay? So anyway, what I'd like to do right now is reach out to the people that are out there. If you're experiencing the same type of market losses and you don't know what direction to go in, you got the opportunity right now to call into 844-474-3297. If you would like a complimentary review, come sit in with us. You can come sit in with Karen and I, and we'd be glad to talk to you, and we're going to show you a better way. There is a better way to protect yourself against these market losses. You may not feel that way, but come on in. Please reach out to us. Now, getting back to your question, what does a plan really need to look like? Well, like Karen said, we have to really start doing things a little different with planning. Because so many changes have taken place. Tax laws, and so we got to come up with, new tax strategies. And, look, we're not professional tax people, but we'll guide you in that direction, and we're going to send you over to someone, and we're going to tell you, look, there's professional people out there that can handle these tax situations. But with the market losses, this is another big concern, so it kind of all ties together. You're worried about taxes being increased here in the future. You're worried about inflation. You're worried about market losses. You're getting beat to death.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's all related.
Oh, it's all related.
Yes.
So bottom line, if you don't have any kind of plan in place, you're starting off, you're in trouble already.
Exactly.
So that plan has to start off with mitigating risk. So we look at all the risks that you may have and see if we can reposition you in such a manner that's going to suit your needs, and it's going to put you through retirement instead of just getting you to retirement. Right now, people aren't even getting to retirement because they're going backwards with their portfolios. They're losing a lot of money. And to be honest with you, I just feel like we're on a roller coaster ride right now with the market, and I think we're probably going to see another 12 to 24 months of ups and downs, and we're not going to see a whole lot of gains. So it's pretty scary for people out there.
Well, and time is precious, right?
It's
time is
very
precious. We don't have time to waste.
No, we don't.
And you can't afford to go down in retirement because your money has to work for you now instead of you working for it. So that's disastrous.
Absolutely right. Hey, listen, I understand you have a special offer for the good folks of Louisiana. Would you share that with them today?
Sure. We have a book that we give to everyone that calls in for the TV show called Retire Smart Louisiana. There's so much wonderful information in there. We have people read all the time, Karen, this is great. It's simple. It's not hard to understand. And most people come to the office and they don't understand finances, but they do understand this book well. And so call 844-474-3297. Again, 844-474-3297. And at the bottom of on the TV screen, you'll see this little QR code. If you put your phone and you attach it to it, it'll bring up our website, and you can fill the information that way. So call 844-474-3297. You're going to be so glad you did.
Amen to that. And you know what? The time is now. Time is precious. And taking advantage of this opportunity, this offer, it's a complimentary review, a review that could change everything in your financial future. To Gary's point, everything touches each other in retirement. You can't afford to have one gap. If you've got questions, get the answers. 844-474-3297. Operators are standing by. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after these short messages.
As a good saver, you've been putting away money during your working years. Studies find that the biggest fear of retirees is running out of money. Market volatility isn't just the downward movement of stock prices, it's the size and frequency of change. The more dramatic the ups and downs, the higher the volatility. This can put savers who are newly retired or a few years away from being retired at greater risk. Today's generation of retirees is not receiving traditional pensions as our parents or grandparents did. Instead, we have retirement accounts such as 401ks or 403bs. These accounts typically expose your money to market risk. The last thing you want right before retirement is to lose a portion of the money you need for income. But how do you turn these accounts into a retirement income? Is it safe to keep all your retirement money sitting in the stock market? The last thing you want is to lose a portion of the money you need for income due to market loss. By working with a financial professional, you can learn how to turn a portion of your savings into an income stream for life and income for the life of your spouse if you're married. We all have moments in our lives when we wish we had taken action sooner. Don't let procrastination reign on your retirement parade. Act now before it's too late. Please call our office to set up your no-cost, no-obligation retirement income review today.
Welcome back, everybody, to Retire Smart Louisiana. Again, thank you so much for being with us today. I'm your host, Paul Gebhardt, and my very special guests, Ms. Karen Bienvenue and Gary Powles of Retire Smart Louisiana. Guys, some incredible information, helping folks pay their mortgage off early so they can have a free retirement. How vital is that?
Yes.
Talking about what a retirement's supposed to look like, you know, and how all these different aspects touch one another, Gary. Just,
no doubt.
You know,
Yes.
it's just much needed information. And truly what really is needed is action, right? I mean, we got to make a move. We got to take action, right?
Action's
when
important.
things are not going the way we hope they would, we got to make a move.
Yeah.
So in this section, you guys, it's interesting, this next topic. I want to talk about this budget. How important is it for someone to have a budget in place before they retire, Gary?
Oh, it's extremely important. Number one, going into retirement, if you don't have a budget, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say 99% of the people that come into any one of our offices, and we have 4 offices, they come in and they really don't have a clue how much they're spending every month. Now, that's a big problem in itself. But then when you tie inflation to that, okay, on top of that, and like Karen said, when you have debt that's also on top of that, and all these things, they're not really budgeting. What they're doing is they're just living out their days, especially if they're still working, they still have money coming into the household. The last thing on their mind is having a budget. And it's just nuts because without a budget, you don't have a plan, you know?
That's a good point.
So, you know, getting back to what we were talking about before also, you got all these things that kind of tie together. You got the budget, you got inflation losses, okay? You know, we're in a recession, whether they want to announce it or not. And it's ugly because we've never seen a recession where we've had inflation this high. I mean, it's been, you know, years and years since we've had inflation this high.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're really seeing the true numbers, to be honest with you.
I'm with you. You know, can I ask you about that real quick on the inflation part? I mean, Gary, do you see folks coming in where, I mean, how could anybody have planned in their budget or in their retirement plan for this level of inflation?
They couldn't. So that's the problem. Think about this right now. All the seniors that are actually living on a fixed income, you know, their Social Security benefits, and they may have put a little bit of money away, but now inflation is just eating up everything. I mean, last year they had, what, a 5.9% increase for inflation?
Right.
Inflation just ate that up.
Yeah, that's right.
It's gone.
Before they even got it, right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So they're suffering. You know, it's the working class they're barely making it right now. But the people who are retired, they're not making it. Okay, the ones that are on that fixed income of living off of Social Security benefits, I don't see how they're making it. I really don't. I mean, you go to the grocery store and the prices of food today is just it's astronomical. It's not unbelievable. It's astronomical.
Right.
And it seems like every time I go back, we see an increase in the prices of groceries. But now we're hearing rumors that, you know, the housing market is starting to get in trouble. You know, people are starting to back off right now because the interest rates went up. So when you raise interest rates, it makes it harder to afford the size home that you really wanted in the first place. So some people are just saying, you know what, I'm going to wait. So they're backing off. So now you're going to start seeing the housing market start, you know, getting hit pretty hard. And, you know, there's just a lot of people out there that are suffering right now. And we see it every day. So you've got to have a budget, you know. And right now your budget has to change because, you know, with the cost of everything, we can't go out and have steak every day anymore. That's true. That's a fact. You know,
and what I love, too, though, is that you folks have solutions for these challenges that people are facing in Louisiana. I mean, they need resources, and you guys have the resources. You have the plans that can help them, right?
Yes.
Let me ask you this question, Karen. Should investing in the future be a part of somebody's budget?
Oh, absolutely. It's just like the other story I told you with using 0% interest and you're using other people's money to pay off your debt.
Yeah.
What I forgot to tell you, the end of that story was that the couple was fixing to spend their whole retirement account, not thinking about the taxes. It was an IRA account that they would have had to pay. And because they did decide to call me first and was so grateful they did, they said, we knew you'd have an answer. And so we helped them pay the house off, and they will keep their retirement savings account. That money they were going to utilize for home health care, nursing home, or whatever they need. But getting back to your question, the government just passed a law. Listen to this. Called the Inflation Reduction Bill. We have to stop and think.
I'm going to try not to laugh.
Oh, it's pathetic.
I'm trying to be.
But you know what?
Go ahead, Karen.
I don't know how other states are, and I believe that they do.
Yeah.
But we all get it now.
Yeah.
We see what's going on.
Yeah.
Inflation. What is that? That going to benefit me? And inflation? Are you going to reduce inflation? No. What they're going to do with that is they're going to hire 87,000 IRS agents.
What?
Do you think that's going to be for our benefit or for theirs? So why the heck we're passing bills like that? Debt's out of control. I mean, I could go on. So what Gary and I decided, we've been watching the government out of control now, over $30 trillion of debt. We know it's more than that. I mean, in Medicare Part B premiums have gone through the roof.
Yep.
I mean, so what do we do?
Yeah.
What do we do?
What do we do?
So Gary and I talked about it. We decided to start with our clients the last couple of years. Let's start an emergency account. An emergency account. What is that going to do for us?
Yeah, that's good.
Just take off the crumbs of your retirement account, put it in an account, and what do we do with that? We start a tax-free retirement account. Because remember, right now, you can still do these Roths, and you have up to $7,000 for a senior citizen that you can put into a joint account between you and your husband. That's $14,000 a year, and act like it's not even there. And that puppy is growing income tax-free. That means it's all yours. Why? Because that emergency account is going to come in handy for those that did start with us several years ago. They're telling us today, how much is gas today? $4 a gallon. They're saying by this summer it could go as high as 10. I'm not saying it will. I'm just saying that's what they're saying out there. And now with the inflation out of control, do you think it's a good time that we started that with them? They are so glad they did. One lady was telling me, she said, Karen, if I wouldn't have started that emergency account with you and Gary years ago, I don't know how I could have paid for my gas. So we were really proud of those little ideas, and God helps us with this.
Yeah.
We don't know where this comes from.
I was just going to ask you, I mean, it's got to feel good, right?
Oh,
I mean, it's got to feel good when you impact people's lives like that.
That's right.
Yeah.
And when you hear, especially widow women, that their husbands are gone, they by themselves to defend themselves. What do you think this kind of act could do? What if they audit these poor little women? They don't have anything to begin with.
Yeah.
I have seen more women suffer financial atrocities than anything out there. And this is my 32nd year. And it's so sad to see that they can't get any help because they're just $3 or $4 higher than what they need to be to get some help from the government. I don't know, guys. We know things are messed up, and we got to fix this. We got to find a way to fix this. And that's what Gary and I try to do, anything that we can. And we ask God to help us, give us ideas. And he does.
That's
an emergency account. Who would have thought?
That's good stuff. Yeah. What I love about it is how much you guys are you roll your sleeves up, and you're like, listen, I know there's a lot of things going on. I know there's a lot of worry in the world. There's a lot of fear. But
so
guess
sad.
what? There is hope, and there are ideas, and there are strategies, and there are plans. That's the whole point of this show. That's why you're here, right? Yeah. So do me a favor, please, because we're going to have to take a break here in a second. Remind the good folks of Louisiana what you can do to help them, right, if they call in today.
Sure. If you would like a complimentary review, and if you'd like to come in and see Miss Karen or I, we'd be glad to sit down with you and go over every issue you have. We'll mitigate the risk, and we'll make sure that we put you on a path that's going to be very successful. And we sometimes mention bulletproof. We try to make it as bulletproof as possible. So if you would like to do that, call the number on the screen, 844-474-3297, or you can use the QR code down on the right-hand side of the screen and just put your phone on it and plug in the information. And that number is 844-474-3297. Call in. Time's running out, folks. You need to get this done now.
Yeah, take action today. You know, one thing I think nobody likes, I know the good folks of Louisiana don't like, and that's bullies. Nobody likes a bully. And the IRS is getting ready to bully people.
Yeah.
The government's bullying us. And you know what? You need some fighters on your side. That's what you need. You need people who can get in the ring and say, you know, you're not going to bully this widow. You're not going to bully this family. They work their butts off to get to where they are in life, and you're going to take it away? No, not on my watch. That's what's going to happen when you call today. 844-474-3297. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after these short messages.
When was the last time you saw your financial professional? Are you getting the most out of the strategy that was created for you? Although you've done a great job finding someone to help plan for your future, are you 100% sure that you were given the right strategy? We can help answer these questions and more with a complimentary second opinion evaluation. We will take a look at what you have in place, then help determine if you are well positioned to get the most out of your future retirement income. In the event that it is not, we can help by making suggestions and showing you how to get on the right path. You wouldn't get just one opinion when it comes to a major health decision. So why would you treat your most important financial decision with such disregard? Call today for your no-cost, no obligation second opinion evaluation to see if you are getting the most out of your retirement income plan.
Welcome back, everybody, to Retire Smart Louisiana. Again, I'm your host, Paul Gebhardt, and I want to thank you so much for allowing us into your living rooms today. I want to also thank my very special guests, Mr. Gary Powell and Karen Bienvenue of Retire Smart Louisiana.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Just serving the greater people of Louisiana because, like I said, everybody needs someone to fight for them, right?
They're the greatest people in the world.
Yeah, man, I love it. I love it. Okay, so listen, in the break, the phones are going nuts. So we got some questions that came in. Do you mind taking like a live question for me?
Oh, not at all.
Great.
Fantastic. So question number one, Mr. Landry from, am I saying this right? Is it Galliano?
Yes.
Just called in, and he wants to know how the Secure Act is going to affect him and his wife.
Good question.
That is a good question. Well, you know, we've had a lot of changes in the last few years that the government has put in place. It's going to affect each and every one of us. Not only that, it's going to affect the children as well. The Secure Act's not going to affect you so much when it comes to pulling your money out of the portfolio in a limited amount of time. Your children will be under that principle. Basically, if they inherit anything from you, it's going to be in a 10-year period, basically. But now, Mr. Landry, when we sit here and we're going to talk to you about this, you got to understand there's a couple things. To be able to know exactly how it's going to affect you, I'd really have to look at your situation in particular. But one of the biggest things for most of the retirees going into retirement is the RMDs, the required minimum distributions. If you don't have a tax plan in place and you have all your money in tax-deferred situations, basically what's going to happen when you hit 72 is you're going to be required to start pulling this money out. So it's definitely going to affect your pocketbook, so to speak, because especially we keep hearing, taxes are going to go up. They hiring all these IRS agents for a reason.
Yeah.
Because they're fixing to raise taxes, and people are going to be in a panic, and then all these agents are going to come in. So be prepared. And I really appreciate you calling in, and thank you very much for the question. And yes, if you would like to come sit down with us, I'd love to talk to you about the Secure Act and how it's going to affect you, and we can put a plan together to make sure that you don't fall victim of that.
Yeah.
I have a quick story.
Yeah.
According to the Secure Act, I had a client that just came in that lost their mom and dad. And they just finished the tax bill. They did not plan their RMDs to get rid of them, the required minimum distributions, 872. So with the Secure Act, they inherited this IRA money, and the government took up to 50% of their money. We Cajuns say, boy, if mom and daddy knew that, they'd roll over in their grave if they knew that the government took that much. So again, that's what Gary was saying. It's so important to come in to learn, how do I get rid of this Secure Act? Sounds good, secure, but secure for the government. They didn't say it wrong. It's a government plan, so it's good for them. So security for the government, but not secure for us. So guys, retire smart and learn how to just fix this.
Yeah, retire smart. I mean, I think that's where it's at. The key is getting educated and knowing what your options are.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
Right? If you know your options are, you can take a situation and turn it into an opportunity.
Yeah.
Right? Because let's face it, to your point, these deferred plans are kind of set up that way because they want to get these large sums of tax money.
There's no doubt.
When people retire. It's imperative that you take action and have a strategy to deal with that, right?
Before you get to 72.
Before you get to
72, right.
A 50% penalty, you guys. That's
But you can still do a plan if you're 72, so don't think you can't do it after. You can.
Really?
Oh, we do it all the time.
Okay. So bottom line is you got to take action, you got to get involved.
As fast as you can.
Since we're on the subject of taxes, let's talk a little bit about that. I mean, how often do you find folks not taking advantage of, say, doing a tax strategy? In other words, do you find that a lot of folks lose most of their nest egg because they don't have proper plan, or do you think it's mainly because they just simply are picking the wrong investments? What is the most common mistake that you see in that regard?
Well, I'd like to answer that.
Would you?
Yeah, Gary and I can both agree to this. We ask them all the time, what plan did you put together to get rid of your required minimum distribution taxes that you're going to pay? They're going to force you to take it whether you like it or not. And we hear crickets, nothing.
Really?
Wait a minute. You've been with your guy this long and you don't even have a plan to get rid of your taxes? That's one of the most important things. Not only that, you're going to be paying a lot of extra taxes in the future if you don't take care of that. There's a bunch of other taxes they have in place for us baby boomers. So hold on to your seat, and we'll tell you about them soon.
Well, the problem with what she just said is that most accountants and CPAs,
correct,
when a person sits down with their accountant, they've been trained from day one when they're in college. Defer.
Really?
Yes. Oh, yes, no doubt. So they don't want you to take your money out and pay taxes off and roll it into a Roth IRA. They do not. You know, they've been trained that way.
That's a very eye-opening statement, Gary.
Yeah.
Defer. And don't realize they could be making a tax time bomb down the road, right?
Well, they're going to make a tax time bomb for the children underneath the Secure Act is what's going to happen.
Wow.
And the accountants are doing the right thing. They're trying to, make them pay as little taxes as possible.
Yeah.
But in most cases, it's not a good plan for them. So we try to get in touch with the accountant and the client. We train them. Okay, now look, either pay it now, pay this much now, or pay that much later. Which one you want to do?
Yeah.
It's your choice.
Yeah.
But I don't understand this. I said, you will when we finish.
Yeah.
And so after we start training them how to get rid of the taxes, I mean, they're just so excited. I didn't even know this was possible.
Right.
Said, don't be sorry from the grave and make your kids suffer the consequences, because Uncle Sam's got a plan in place to take from them too.
Yeah, that's so true. Believe it or not, guys, we're come down to the end of the show, and I just thoroughly enjoyed having you with us today. Thank you so much for just educating us and keeping us in the know, because that's what I think folks are needing right now, right? Good information, good education. Do me a favor and remind the good folks of Louisiana what you're offering today when they call in.
Okay. We have a book out there called Retire Smart Louisiana. Everyone that calls into the TV show and comes in to schedule an appointment, it's a complimentary book. You'll love it. Call 844-474-3297. Again, 844-474-3297. Come get that book. Learn strategies. It's not going to cost anything. Everything's complimentary. And once you educate and get the financial education that we're not getting, we're not getting the schools. The colleges aren't teaching us. I mean, if you don't see a retirement specialist, you're not going to know those answers. So I'd rather you come before you're sorry about the situation.
Good stuff. It comes down to relationships. Think about your life and how you got to where you are today. Your best friend, your spouse, that business partner, someone who taught you something. Who's teaching you in retirement? Who's your partner? Pick up the phone. Give Karen and Gary a call, 844-474-3297. Thank you for being with us. Be well and retire smart, Louisiana.
The content is developed from sources believed to be providing accurate information. The information in this material is not intended as tax or legal advice. It may not be used for the purpose of avoiding paying any local, state, or federal taxes. Please consult legal or tax professionals for specific information regarding your individual situation. The opinions expressed and material provided are for general information and should not be considered a solicitation for the purchase or sale of any security. Copyrighted by Retire Smart Louisiana. All rights reserved.
Get breaking news when it happens in the palm of your hand. The KPEL News app, free in the App Store and Google Play Store.
This is Retire Smart Louisiana with retirement consultants Karen Bienvenue and Gary Powles, President and Vice President of Retire Smart Louisiana. Karen and Gary bring over 60 years of guidance to the Bayou by helping you achieve your retirement goals. We value your beliefs as much as we value your financial mission by designing asset protection and customized retirement optimization strategies for you, our radio listeners. And now, here is Retire Smart Louisiana with Karen Bienvenue and Gary Powles.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Retire Smart Louisiana. I'm your host, Paul Gebhardt, with our co-host today, Miss Karen Bienvenue and Gary Powles of Retire Smart Louisiana.
How you
Guys,
doing?
I am good, Karen. Thank you for asking, but how y'all doing?
We're doing great.
Because, that's what it's about, right?
Yep.
Feeling good,
excited.
doing good.
We're excited.
Yeah, I'm excited
Great
to have
to be
you.
here.
Well, the good folks of Louisiana have tuned in now. I think this will be over 50 shows. We just did our 50th, right?
Yay.
You know, it's good stuff because they define our success, right?
Yes.
Success
exactly
starts
right.
with you people. So thank you for being with us. You know, I wanted to jump in on taxes, and I know we talk a lot about it, but it's a big part of a person's portfolio, believe it or not, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
So let me ask you a question. What will your heirs inherit after taxes?
Well, there we go again. Taxes, taxes, and more taxes.
Yeah.
They're hitting us coming and going. We don't know what's going to hit us. It's going to hit us right between the eyes before we realize it. Our millenniums. And you know, the taxes, it's not just what they're going to inherit after taxes. I got so many stories to tell you that were bad. You know, that the kids thought they'd inherit like $1 million IRA and they only get $500,000 and things like that. Well, the millennials right now are going to be inheriting our government debt. And they're not even sure they're going to have Social Security for them. A tax plan? What are they going to be able to keep? Are we going to be Venezuela? You just got to have some certainty. But Karen, what are they? Education. Come in. There are retirement accounts that the wealthy people are using. We like to show you how these plans work. They're simple. They're not complicated. And it sure beats a 401k. It'll beat any IRA that you have out there because the government set a trap for you. And that trap was for you to pay more taxes on the crops instead of the seed. You start a 401k when you're 18, when you're 60 years old. Now that thing's $500,000. Now what? Well, then we'll ask them, how much of that do you think is yours? Well, $500,000. Oh no, darling. If you pass away today, Uncle Sam's he's gonna be your biggest heir. So that's a good question to ask, Paul, because we see that all the time. After the parents pass away and they have some type of $1 million account and they only get $500,000, they come in and said they've got to be a better way because mom and dad would roll over in their grave if they knew how much Uncle Sam took from us. You know, like that. They wanted us to have this whole entire account. I said, yeah, but guys, there's ways to make it up. You know, God's got a way of turning that thing around for you. You were smart to come see us. I'm glad you saw us on TV and came in. And so now we have a retirement account for each of the kids. They're in their 50s, 2 of them. And so they're going to get that money back. We have a lot of benefits. They're going to, the plan we put together was tax-free, which is growing tax-free, and it's making really good money. And they have a death benefit on top of that. So that part, if they pass away right away, their heirs would get what their mom and dad want them to get. So we really got their money back for them.
That's good
so
stuff.
It's exciting to see that we can repair a lot of things the government's done for us. Now, how does that happen? Education. You're not going to learn unless you come in.
Yeah.
Gary and I are very passionate to try to help you understand what the wealthy people are using, and we can use those tools too, so why not? Come in and learn. How can we get these plans together for you? You're going to be really glad that you did.
You know, what's interesting is an old proverb that says a wise man learns from the success of those who succeeded.
Yes.
And not the ones who have failed.
That's exactly
That's right.
So if money is what you aspire to grow, you probably want to follow what the wealthy do, to your point, Karen.
Exactly.
And you have these strategies, you have these
We
plans
do.
available to folks, right?
We do.
And can help them take advantage of those same
Yeah.
things, right? Because it's only fair.
Well, we say, look, this is the plan the government has for us. You okay with that?
Yeah.
Look at all these threats. If it doesn't take care of you in retirement, you got a problem.
Yes.
And let me show you what the wealthy people are doing. They had 2 politicians who were arguing a while back. And then one was fussing at, you don't pay taxes. That's right, because I'm smart. I utilize the same tax-free laws that y'all have in place. And so that's what Gary and I try to do.
Yeah.
Tell you what they are. They're not hard.
Gary, what's your thoughts on what you'll inherit after taxes?
Myself, I'm going to be perfectly fine. It's some of the people out there that haven't been able to see these type of shows or come in to meet with somebody that really wants to address the risk in the situation where the government's going to be in control. I mean, when we do seminars, sometimes I'll tell a little story, and it kind of hits home. You know, I talk about a wife that's constantly sending her husband to the grocery store to buy things. You know, I need this, I need a bottle of milk or whatever. So anyway, she plans this big old birthday party, and she says, I need you to go pick up the cake, you know, from the grocery store. It's already ready, you just need to pick it up. So he goes and he picks it up and he brings it home. And she opens up the box and 1/3 of the cake is gone. And she flips out. Where's the rest of the cake? He goes, I don't know. Oh, that's what's going to happen with your retirement account.
That's right.
You think you got this whole cake, and at the end, 1/3 of it, Uncle Sam's taken, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
So, you know, you have to be in control.
Yeah.
And if you're not, you're going to be in trouble. You know,
it's an interesting thought, Gary, because I guess I've heard you say, too, about, 401ks. I've heard you both talk about retirement accounts, right? You build up all this money.
Yep.
Let's say it's $1 million, to your point. You get to retirement, and then, tax surprise, that third of the cake is taken out.
That's right.
I wonder if it's by accident. In other words, what I'm saying
no, it's pre-planned.
is when you know what they should do is forecast what your taxes will be as that's accumulating.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what the RMDs do, but people don't even know what RMDs are half the time.
Really?
No, they don't.
And if they did, it would scare them so bad they'd look for tax-free, results. They'd say, look, we need to get rid of some of this stuff. It's going to kill us when we retire.
But once they understand it, Gary's right, but once they do understand, we got so much years. You're 64, you come in. We got 8 years to get rid of those taxes. Yep. You can get rid of those taxes, really? Oh, yeah. Let's see what the wealthy people are doing. They got tax-free income. They're not going to start something taxable. That doesn't even make sense. And by the way, guys, the wealthy people, they don't roll the dice at the casino either. They learn how to maintain that money, they keep it, and they buy other type of safe investments. And we help you understand how all that works. So come in and learn these strategies. We have some wonderful tools.
You want to add something, Gary?
Yeah, and the other thing that a lot of people don't understand, right now they're losing money in the market, right?
Yes.
So not only they're going to get hit with a tax time bomb, but they're going to lose a chunk of it before they ever get there. Here's the biggest problem. People are paying fees on money that does not belong to them. So if they pay those taxes off ahead of time, a big chunk of those fees goes away. But most planners will try to convince you never to pay the taxes off. They don't like the idea of rolling things over into a Roth IRA because it's less money under management.
Absolutely.
Less money they make. But people are just blinded by this. They don't have a clue. But when they sit down with us, we expose all that to them. So it's completely different than what people really think when it comes to taxes.
What I absolutely love is that there's plans available, there are strategies, and there's hope, right?
No doubt.
So the folks out there wanting that lifeline of hope, y'all, would you do me a favor and share with the good folks of Louisiana what you're offering when they call in today?
Sure. Today, you need to please call in to 844-474-3297. Get your complimentary review. Hey, look, come and get that second opinion. If you don't take action, don't expect any. That's just the way it is. Make the first step. Come in. What do you have to lose?
That's right.
Come in, Louisiana. We love you. Call in 844-474-3297. Take that first step.
Man, that's good. I don't see you get emotional like Gary. You get a little emotional there, buddy. You know, it's great. People that care. That's what it's about. You care. That's why you're staying with us today. And, you know, I can't think of a place I'd rather be than right here with you right now. Because this is a moment that defines your life. This is the moment of change you've waited for. That friend in your neighborhood, that person you know. Think about all the successes in your life, and there's someone being key in your relationship. A spouse, a best friend, a teacher, someone you trust. Who do you trust with your retirement? Who's that partner? If you don't have one, or you're questioning the one you got, right now, take action. 844-474-3297. Karen and Gary cannot wait to meet with you. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after these short messages.
As a good saver, you've been putting away money during your working years. Studies find that the biggest fear of retirees is running out of money. Market volatility isn't just a downward movement of stock prices, it's the size and frequency of change. The more dramatic the ups and downs, the higher the volatility. This can put savers who are newly retired or a few years away from being retired at greater risk. Today's generation of retirees is not receiving traditional pensions as our parents or grandparents did. Instead, we have retirement accounts such as 401ks or 403bs. These accounts typically expose your money to market risk. The last thing you want right before retirement is to lose a portion of the money you need for income. But how do you turn these accounts into a retirement income? Is it safe to keep all your retirement money sitting in the stock market? The last thing you want is to lose a portion of the money you need for income due to market loss. By working with a financial professional, you can learn how to turn a portion of your savings into an income stream for life and income for the life of your spouse if you're married. We all have moments in our lives when we wish we had taken action sooner. Don't let procrastination reign on your retirement parade. Act now before it's too late. Please call our office to set up your no-cost, no-obligation retirement income review today.
Welcome back, everybody, to Retire Smart Louisiana. Thank you so much for being with us today. Again, I'm your host, Paul Gebhardt, and it's my honor to have my good friends, Mr. Gary Powles and Karen Bienvenue, with us.
Thank you, Paul.
Well,
that's so sweet.
Oh, come on, girl. You're the sweet one. Listen, legacies, that's what we're talking about, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Legacy, what does it mean to people? Why is that important, right? We got some viewers that called in. I mean, which I love. I love the fact that you guys like to take these call-ins right away.
Yeah.
Right? So can we take a question right now? You guys got that? Okay.
Please.
So we got Larry and Gail from Scott, Louisiana. Hello, Larry and Gail. Thank you for watching us. We heard the old saying, we can depend on two things in life, death and taxes. What say you?
That is a great question. Number one, education is the key to success when it comes to legacy planning. You know, God's the only one who can control the death situation, but we can actually control the taxes. A lot of people don't think that way. They think, no, the government's got this. I'm going to always pay taxes. Nothing I can do about it. But it is an issue, especially for your heirs. Now, here's the one big thing a lot of people don't think about. If you don't have some type of legacy planning, like a will or a trust in place, we've seen in the past several things that has happened. I'm going to tell you a little story. I had a couple.
This is Retire.
On the Ragin' Cajun Sports Network from Learfield, this is Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns Baseball. Brought to you by Our Lady of Lourdes Help. We're all Cajun. We're all Ragin'. Our Lady of Lourdes Help is the official healthcare provider for Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns Athletics. Serving the Ford fans of Louisiana. Go further and head over to your local Southern Quality Ford dealer. Super One Foods. Save time and shop online with super low prices on the go. Super One Foods is proud to be the official grocery store of Ragin' Cajuns Athletics. Dudley DeBosier, the official personal injury lawyers of the Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns. And by Lafayette Roofing, locally owned and family operated. Lafayette Roofing is proud to be the official roofing company of the Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns.
Ball hit the deep center. That ball's way back. That ball is gone. A 3-run jack. And the Cajuns are breaking this one open early.
Ragin' Cajuns Baseball is on the air. Here's the voice of the Ragin' Cajuns, Jay Walker.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Mark Light Stadium, Alex Rodriguez Field on the campus of the University of Miami and Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns Baseball. Today, it's an elimination game in the 2023 Coral Gables Regional as the Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns take on the Black Bears of the University of Maine. Hello again, everyone. I'm Jay Walker, Anthony Babineau with me to do the play-by-play and analysis for you. Nick Jeremy is our producer back at the studio. Craig Melanson is our producer on site. Well, here we are. Cajuns have been in this position before. In fact, they've been in this position a lot over the years because elimination games happen in just about every tournament, whether it's a conference tournament or a regional. And in this case, it's today as Louisiana takes on Maine. The Cajuns, tough 4-2 loss yesterday to the University of Texas. Their season will ride on the right arm of Carson Fluno. Fluno is coming into the game today with a record on the season of 3-1 and an ERA of 4.47. The Black Bears of Maine, the champions of the Northeast Conference, 7-1 losers last night to the University of Miami. They will send Caleb Lees to the mound. Lees is 5-0 with an ERA of 4.30. Well, it's the meeting of the number 3 and number 4 seeds, but if you think number 4 can't do any damage, you didn't pay attention to the scores yesterday as 3 number 4 seeds, number 4 Ryder, number 4 Oral Roberts, and number 4 Pennsylvania, all defeated number 1 seeded teams. So guess what? There's 64 teams in this tournament, and all of them can play at some level or another. It is going to be hopefully a day where we get this one in. There really was not much rain to speak of. Lightning was in the area. We did expect to have quite a bit of rain, but a system that was headed this way kind of broke up a little bit. Very possible we could get some more before the day is out, but for now, we're getting ready to play some baseball. Winner of this game gets the loser of tonight's game between Texas and Miami. That game will be played at noon tomorrow, the elimination game. The loser of this game sees their season come to an end. The Black Bears and the Cajuns have met 7 times. In school history, the Cajuns have won 5 of the 7 meetings, the last being back in 1995 when the Cajuns opened their first ever baseball series under head coach Tony Robichaux. After opening the season with 3 at Texas, their home opener the following weekend was against the University of Maine. Raging Cajun Baseball, the pregame show is brought to you by Hancock Whitney. They are the official bank of Raging Cajuns Athletics and the home of the Raging Cajuns debit card. Coming up on Louisiana pregame, we'll have starting lineups. Anthony Babineau joins me to talk about today's game and maybe reminisce about that 1995 season opener because he was around for that. We'll also have a conversation with Cajun head coach Matt Deggs. When we return, we'll take a look at the Sun Belt teams that were in regional action yesterday. Give you a few details on that. This is the Hancock Whitney pregame from Learfield.
At Hubble Dermatology and Aesthetics, it is our pleasure to provide quality aesthetic and dermatologic care. Our skin experts deliver highly customized cosmetic and skincare solutions that give you refreshingly natural yet noticeable results. Hubble Dermatology is proud to offer the most up-to-date surgical and non-surgical treatments to reach each patient's ultimate goal, achieving their desires and optimizing their results. To stay up to date on upcoming events and exciting advancements, please visit skinexpert.com and follow us on social media. Hubble Dermatology, we enhance confidence one beautiful, bright life at a time.
The golf season is here, and if you're looking to improve your game, you've got to visit the golfballs.com retail center. Our newly renovated store has the latest golf balls, clubs, and apparel from brands such as Titleist, TaylorMade, and Callaway. Check out our new state-of-the-art golf simulator and demo the hottest irons, drivers, and putters. Featuring 20,000 square feet of golf equipment and gear, golfballs.com was founded here in Acadiana and remains the world leader in golf customization. Located on Arnold Boulevard next to Harbor Freight Tools, and of course online at golfballs.com.
From small dents to hard hits, Auto Extreme Collision Center can handle it all. Our experienced technicians treat every car like one of their own, so you can be sure each vehicle is treated with the best of care. When it comes to automotive, collision, painting, or scratch repairs, be sure to choose Auto Extreme to be part of your team. Come see us at 112 Ashy Road here in Lafayette for all your body shop needs. And remember, you get to choose your body shop, so make sure you choose the best in town. Auto Extreme. Go Cajuns!
Woo! Got my nachos, got my big TV, and my favorite chair. It's game time. But you know, the only thing that would make it a little better is if I could listen to my local broadcasters while watching the game.
Hello. You must have wished for your game to be synced with TV and radio.
I sure did.
Do you have a DVR?
You bet.
Do you have a streaming device?
Yeah.
Blammo! Your game is now synced. It's that easy.
Oh, boy.
To see if you can get synced, head to syncmygame.com from Learfield.
Syncmygame.com?
Syncmygame.com.
3 other games involving Sunbelt schools will play yesterday. We'll start in Auburn, Alabama, where Southern Miss and Auburn went 10 innings, and Tanner Hall went 9 strong, allowed just 1 run. The problem is his mates couldn't do anything except match the 1 run. So they went to extra innings. And Justin Storm, who was great against the Cajuns in the championship game, was not great. He gave up 3 runs in the 10th inning. Southern Miss falls to the number 3 seed Samford out of the Southern Conference by the score of 4-2. And so an elimination game for Southern Miss today, amazingly, against the top seed Auburn, because Auburn was upset by Penn. Was upset yesterday. Yes, it was by Penn. And so they are in the losers bracket as well. And that was one of 3 games that were played. Troy was the only team to win. They got a run in the 9th inning to go up 11-9. Gave up a run in the bottom of the inning and worked out of a bases-loaded jam at the end of the game. to win over Boston College by the score of 11-10. Troy, therefore, will turn around and they will meet Alabama tonight in a winner's bracket game. Alabama defeated the Trojans twice during the regular season. The other crazy game took place in Conway, where Coastal Carolina took a 5-0 lead after 6 innings, and their freshman Leon Doyle was throwing a no-hitter, but he had thrown 100 pitches. Coastal turned to the bullpen, and the bullpen totally imploded as Ryder scored 9 runs in the 6th inning to take a 9-5 lead. Coastal came back to tie the game and send it into extra innings. Then in the 10th, Ryder scored 2 runs over off relief ace Teddy Sharkey. Coastal Carolina got 1 in the bottom of the inning, had the bases loaded with 2 outs, but a line drive, a diving catch made in center field to preserve the victory for Ryder, who won their first ever game in the NCAA tournament. So Coastal Carolina playing an elimination game against UNC Wilmington. And that's a look around what happened to Sunbelt teams in the NCAA tournament yesterday. We'll take a timeout, and when we return, we'll have our conversation with Cajun head coach Matt Deggs. This is the Hancock-Whitney pregame from Learfield.
Looking to buy or sell real estate, but you don't know where to start? Call Adam Angers at Katie Real Estate. Adam and his team have a network of realtors throughout Acadiana with access to shadow inventory. With Adam, the day a house hits the market, you're the first one in the door, because Adam is dedicated to making Acadiana the best place to live for generations to come. He goes above and beyond for his clients and community. Call Adam Angers at 337-255-8884 today, because it doesn't cost more to hire the best.
At Massey Ferguson, we're proud of our 175-year history of straightforward and dependable machinery. We're proud to build tractors and hay equipment that help feed the world year after year. But most of all, we're proud to support farmers. Always have been, always will be. Check out our entire lineup of Farmer First tractors, equipment, and implements today at masseyferguson.com or visit your local dealer to learn more.
Have you taken your friends to Mid-City Smokehouse lately? Hidden behind sleepy oak trees along South College Road is an eclectic restaurant and bar located within a 70-year-old home. Traditional barbecue is the mainstay, but numerous light and healthy menu options are also available. Whether grabbing a bite to eat or drinks with friends, the bar is the place to be. So grab a cocktail or one of the 12 beers on tap and hang out in the lounge next to the bar or back deck under the string lights. We'd love to see you experience Mid-City Smokehouse.
At Dwight Andrews Insurance, we believe that well-placed insurance programs come from a team who understands your needs. For over 75 years, our team has been dedicated to making insurance easier by providing you with property and casualty, employee benefits, and personal lines coverage with customized attention and placement. As one of the largest independent insurance agencies in Louisiana, we don't just sell insurance. Call 337-981-7300 or visit dwightandrewsinsurance.com for more information.
Louisiana pregame continues now as we visit with Raging Cajun head coach Matt Deggs. You know, I went back and looked, and you always say, well, a couple of things we could have done differently, 2-out walk hurt. But the reality is this, if they don't make 2 spectacular plays in the field, you win that game yesterday. Kudos to them.
Yeah, that's hard to stomach, man, because as a coach, you want to be able to do something about it, right? And, yeah, you could talk about us stranding some runners or, a 2-out walk, a hanging fastball. But in reality, that's going to come with the territory in a game like that. And facing guys like that in an arm like that, they made 2 plays. We made a bunch of plays, too. I don't think we had an error. So tip your cap to them and keep going. This is it's all about toughness and hitting from here on in for this regional. You start over again when you get to a super. So this is the hardest game there is. I've been in several of these, and it doesn't matter if you're playing the Tennessee team from last year or if you're playing, the worst RPI team in America. It doesn't matter. This is about who wants to keep playing.
Dylan Campbell, of course, we talked about him before the game, the fact that his dad was from Abbey, went to Abbeville High School. I'm just going to say it that's as good a play by an outfielder as I have seen in years.
Yeah, it was a play by an infielder. Really, is what it looked like. It was a shortstop laying out up the middle. It was a second baseman laying out in the hole. He timed it perfect. He gained a ton of ground, and what can you say?
Not much you can say, except let's play today. You're going to face a Maine ball club, won the America East title, and they've had some very good clubs in the past, and I think we talked about it at a previous time. Back in the days when regionals were, in fact, regional, Maine was at the College World Series quite a bit in the 80s under Dr. John Winken. They were a conference champion again. Their numbers are solid, and it looks like they got a couple of 3 guys who can pitch.
Yeah, they got a little bit of everything. I watched them last night, and I've watched video on them, and they do have a couple of 2 or 3 good arms, and I tell you what they got is they got a lot of big swagger and arrogance in the box and some rhythm, some flow, and they try to go out and get that thing. And they were pitched to pretty good last night, so hopefully we can keep that up.
They also are a team that's going to run with you. They've got 98 stolen bases on the year, so if they get them on, they're going to try to move them.
Yeah, and that's the key, getting them on. And that's been the deal for us. Our stolen base numbers are down, but so is our on-base percentage right now. We've got to get rolling again offensively, and there's no the thing about offense is there's not a magic button.
Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.